Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Marvelous Movie Mondays with Kelsey and Dyl. A bit of a different edition today because this is another one of our commentary tracks. Because, as you know, maybe you don't know, maybe you're just finding out, this is our retrospective month where we are looking back at movies from 10 years ago, both here and other places on the channel, 2014. Kelsey, we are talking about The Winter Soldier today. We're going to do a commentary track. Are you excited?
I am very excited, Dill. I'm happy to be flashing back to 2014, being that the two MCU films that came out in 2014 are definitely at least both in my top 10, if not my top 5.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so it's gonna be great revisiting. Kelsey's seen these movies a bunch of times. I haven't, so this is gonna be nice. I have, but like not in the way Kelsey has. So I'm
Mm.
excited to talk about Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Kelsey. We're gonna start it at let's just say 2 minutes. We'll start at 2 minutes. So I will let you guys know how this works because it is for copyright sake. We will not be showing you the movie here. If you want the movie, you can go on Disney Plus, or if you have it on physical media, which I recommend because physical media rules. Get your remotes queued
Mhm.
up, get your Disney Pluses up. You have about 35 seconds left. So at 2 minutes, we will say play. You will play alongside us, and we'll watch the movie, and we'll just talk about the movie. And you can feel free to sit back and listen to us on podcast, do this, or watch our faces reacting to the movie. We're not going to act surprised because we really know what's coming, but yeah, it's going to be a fun one to react to and just talk about, especially 10 years later now that we've seen so much since. So here we go. We're at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. So now we got Disney Plus going. We got this beautiful Marvel intro, which I think is
Yeah,
still at
an
the
oldie.
the old phase. We're not getting all the
Mhm.
characters in the way we normally do, but that's fine. It shows how far we've come.
No, seriously. And I don't mind the vintage, comic bookness
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the past intro.
Mhm.
It
It
reminds
makes
us
it
of our
feel
roots, where we
yeah,
came from.
yeah, it makes it feel classic in a way that like the newer ones, it feels like almost too dated in a different way, like where it's trying to be, what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
Like, oh, this one is happening in this place and time because this is the one that took place after Stanley died, or for example, like that.
right.
You know, first on your left coming up, on your left, there it is. So that's an iconic shot. I love that first shot, by the way, just of
No,
the
yeah.
lake. It's a great time of day that you normally don't get in film. Like first brink of
Especially
sunrise.
especially with the monument still. Like I love this like in between pillar shot that we have right
Mhm.
at the top of the
Yeah.
movie. You can see Mount Washington in the background there. DC is just such a beautiful city.
Yes, I've actually never been. I think feel like we drove through it when we, went on our, like, choir trips and stuff, but I've never
Yeah.
actually, like, been to DC and, like, done DC. So,
Oh my god, that's crazy, Dale. That was the 8th grade trip at my middle school
we did
because you
Boston.
guys did Boston, yeah. So
Yeah,
I had never been to Boston until very recently. So there you
yeah.
go.
Didn't we do a choir trip to Boston, or did you not
I
go?
wasn't at that one.
There you go. So, yeah, we've
Couldn't make
covered all
that
the
one.
cities. Covered all the cities. This is a great way to, like, introduce these characters, though. We spoiler alert,
Mhm.
we gave it a go before we had to re-record this, so I've already gotten my thoughts out, but I think this is a great introduction to a character for us, because we had never seen Falcon before, correct, Kels?
No.
Yeah. So, I do have an interesting fun fact about Anthony Mackie. He says that the appearance in the film fulfills his dream of playing a comic book character. He wrote a series of emails pleading to Marvel, wanting to play any character that would appear in any film. Though the studio repeatedly replied to him, said they will respond to him in due time, Mackie's emails caught the attention of Feige, who subsequently offered him the role of Sam Wilson. So, pretty iconic, you know. Sometimes you just got to ask for things, and sometimes just bringing people's awareness. You know,
Good for him.
yeah,
He knew what he wanted and he went after it.
yeah. Now, obviously, it's the first one we see directed by the Russo brothers in the MCU, who came from TV. So, I think the main criticisms we see nowadays are that maybe it does look a little more television in the lighting and the actual camera. The way
Mm,
things are framed and stuff. Then, like, because this looks a little TV. But that's not a terrible thing.
yeah.
It gives it at least a distinct style.
Yeah. Yeah, the first of many Russo brother films in the MCU.
Yeah, they become kind of the first, like, real repetition on there's Scarlet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, pick up a fossil, that's a great joke. That's a great joke.
Yeah.
because he's an old man.
Roger and Steve just going, "That's hilarious."
I feel like that's a relationship they don't really build on much is Falcon and Black Widow, you know?
Yeah.
And that little moment's nice. Like, I wish there was more of that, but
I mean, I know Anthony Mackie and, Sebastian Stan have been joking about, like, a romance between, them,
them, yeah.
either one of their 2 characters and, Black Widow for the
Mhm.
longest time,
Fun
but
fact, when I first saw this, I thought that was Patrick Dempsey, Frank Grillo, but it is not.
Oh, that's
Because that
funny.
one shot of him does look like Patrick Dempsey,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
crazy,
yeah.
right? Like, a
I
little
wouldn't
bit?
mind seeing Patrick Dempsey in the MCU, I'm not gonna lie, Dill. Could be fun for Grey's
'Cause now
Anatomy
he's
fans.
he's he's quite old, so he'd have to be, like, I think one of the supporting characters or a villain, I don't think he could don a
Yeah.
suit as one of the
Oh,
main heroes right now,
like
but
if he was Lord Cryer in Quantumania instead of the other guy,
oh,
could have
Bill
been
Murray.
could have been sassy.
Mhm.
Who? I don't know that name.
Uh, yeah, like, this stuff
This is just
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna talk about the lighting, like, I'm a stickler for grays and darkness in my
Yeah.
Marvel movies, so, that's kind of where most of my complaints lie, but really story-wise, this is really one of the more engaging, I think, films because it is kinda like an espionage thriller, that it feels like
Mhm,
a different
mhm.
genre when you're watching it. It doesn't feel like a superhero film. It still doesn't, right now, which is cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge jump for Cap's character, Dill. Like, I feel like this movie really sets a lot of like, a huge tone shift for him
Mhm,
because coming off of, First Avenger, not only does he, flash forward X amount of years, can't do the math right now. But it's just also just like tonally, like you're saying, it's like very dark, very gritty, like an edgier Cap. Even
mhm,
his suit is very different. It's much muted tones from the
right,
last time we saw his suit, which was
yeah,
like bright blue.
mhm,
And yeah, I remember them talking about the suit in some kind of like behind the scenes video I watched where they were just like they wanted to make it more practical, more tactical, like
yeah,
it
yeah. I
definitely
did
just
read
like Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know I read, somewhere about the Russos or Anthony Mackie talking about the Russos and how they really just wanted to minimize CG in general, like, make things feel as
Mm,
practical, like you
mhm.
said, as possible, not just with the costumes, but, like, the visual effects as well, because it is a very you could watch this and not even know it was a superhero film because there's not a lot of, like, otherworldly stuff to it. Like,
Yes.
that's a visual effect, the shield, but it's not the type of visual effect where it's like lasers or, magic coming out of people's hands or the portals, it's none of that. It feels very down to earth, grounded, which is what I think kind of made people like it so much at the time and still like it, because it is so just down to earth. Everything's very hand to
Yeah.
hand,
Yeah,
which I
and
like.
there's
If they
nothing
wouldn't
like
have
some
done the
good
damn camera,
hand-to-hand combat.
yeah, yeah, no, I love it, and especially with the shield because it adds just a slight elevation to the hand to hand combat. It's like you have this little extra thing, but it still doesn't go as far as like zapping someone with something.
Yeah. Even the shield is muted tones now that I'm looking at it. Like,
Yeah,
it's you can still tell the difference between, like, the blue and the red and the white,
mhm,
but even that has, like, a gray hue to it just to make him look more stealth and
mhm.
so much cooler.
One of my favorite elements is the sound design. If you just listen to all these little bing, bing, bings, so good. All the crunching of the
Mhm.
punches, like, oh,
Yeah.
I almost wonder if this was R-rated, what more we would get from it. Oof,
Oh, probably a lot more, like, splurts and bones
yeah,
snapping in front of us, and
or just more action, just more punching in general. I don't know.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, honestly, Dill, this film sets a lot of building blocks up for Cap, just, like,
Mhm,
moving forward in the MCU. Like, this is literally, like, this disintegration of S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything he stood for,
yeah,
and
and
he
they
just,
really
like,
plant the
learns
seeds well early on to
Mhm.
really make it feel like a well thought out, not just a random plot twist that happens, but, like, really setting the groundwork piece by piece.
Yeah. And I love the addition of all the shaky camera shots, like, they're almost like point of view shots. They just, like, really immerse the audience into, like, every single scene to just, like,
Mm,
heighten the stakes and make us feel like we're there. They use, like, those shaky camera shots a lot in this film, and I think they're really, really impactful and
mhm.
successful.
Yeah, I always go back and forth on how I feel about the shaky, but it does give it a unique
Mhm.
sense of style, even if it's not my favorite style, which I have to give it credit for, you know?
Yeah.
Black Widow's just the coolest.
Yeah, they give her a lot to do in this film, like, she's not
Yeah,
forgotten, you know,
yeah.
she doesn't just feel like kind of like a side throwaway character at all.
No, I mean, essentially, it's their movie, not just his movie, you know? I've always thought that,
Mhm.
that it's, like, their movie, the 2 of them. Like, this was essentially the first Black Widow movie we got before we got it, you know? This was almost a test run, like, "Oh, let's see her with Cap," before they put her on her
Right.
own, but then they waited till she died to put her on her own, which lessened the stakes of that, but it is what
Mhm.
it is.
And this is
All
Barack
this stuff is
Rumlow
great.
before we realize that he's a bad person.
Mhm. Yeah, it's honestly
This
so funny how
guy,
much I forget.
this one guy who's working for Barack Rumlow looks a lot like David Dastmalchian to the point where I
Mm,
was like, "Oh my god, is that him?"
is it?
No, it's very much not,
Okay.
but they just, like, look a lot alike. I need to try to, like, not just, like, watch the movie and, like,
Right. No, I know
say
it's
things
hard because
about it.
commentaries well, but the hope is that people are watching as they're listening to this and
Right.
not just, like, listening to us talk about it. If someone's
I know,
that
but
good that they could just watch our commentary and know exactly what's happening on screen, I'd be very impressed.
right, right.
Oof.
Ooh,
Again, the sound design is so good. I I toyed around with doing, like, a pickle awards for, like, these retrospectives, like, if I were to give them
mm,
10 years later. I haven't yet,
mhm,
but I might this year, but, like, sound would probably go to this, right? Like, this, Whiplash was that year, American Sniper, I mean, it's a good year for sound, but, like,
mm,
this is, like,
mhm.
it's a good use of sound, just so good. Um, Kelsey, if you were to do, like, a drinking game for this occasion, what would you, just 'cause I did get home from a long day of shows, and I do have my, it's we're not sponsored, but Coors Light is, in my hand, so I'm
Oh,
wondering yeah.
good for you, Jill. I was having some prosecco earlier today.
Oh, nice. Much classier drink, I think, than what I'm drinking, but Coors Light is the best because it's not refreshing you, it's not, like, hydrating you, but you feel
Mhm.
refreshed, you know?
Yeah,
It's, like, not
absolutely.
Gatorade, it's not water, but, like, you feel like you're hydrating, even though it's beer.
Honestly, my drinking game would probably be drink every time you're a little turned on.
I mean, I don't wanna finish it right now. I'm kidding. No, I'll save it for
Wasted.
Robbie Reds, coming up, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, this fight between Cap and George, uh, Batreau, I believe that's how you pronounce his
It's
name.
trivia
I'm like,
champion.
I'm, uh, I'm aroused.
Well, I don't really get aroused by this film as much as you do, but I will still drink
Mm,
whenever I think Kelsey is aroused. How about that?
yeah. You have to drink on behalf of both of us,
Cool,
because if I
cool.
start drinking, I will fall asleep
Yeah.
before this movie's over.
So I only brought 1 beer, so it's not like we're not gonna go crazy. So if
Okay.
Kelsey's, like, all horned up 30 minutes in and the beer's over, that's it. The beer's over. I'm not gonna grab another one. Um, wait, you never heard that term
Ooh,
before, horned up?
sorry, he just did a really cool gymnastics move, and,
Yeah.
I'm
Stunts as
invested.
well. Again, everything technically about the action here is really solid.
He takes
Ooh,
off
hair
his
review.
cowl here, and his hair looks so goofy every time. That's the one thing I have to say about this movie. It just looks goofy.
Why did he take off the cowl?
Well, I think because he was like, "Oh, fight me like a real man," or something, and then his response to that was putting the shield away and then taking off his mask. And look, he defeated him
Even though
anyway.
he's still jacked up on super soldier serum, so
Right.
my thing, that man the
Ooh,
amount of force
good
of
night.
Cap, yeah, I feel like he would have broken way more bones earlier in that fight than he did, but I don't know.
Who, the other guy or Cap?
Yeah. I feel like he got off a little, like, I feel like some of the blows he was given to the legs and stuff, I don't know
Mm,
if he would be able to even stand up after that, but
mhm.
oh, sexual tension. There's just so much sexual tension, like that grab he just when he just pulled her in.
Mhm, mhm.
They never really act on it. I mean, they do one scene for the fans later where it's like, "Ha ha ha, wink wink," but I don't think they ever really followed through, but I kinda like that. It's like they don't need to necessarily make every guy-girl team-up movie a romance, which I kinda like, but at the same time,
Listen,
the
yeah.
actors know to lean in, you know?
This is so funny because, like, what movie do you think this is that Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson have, like, done together? Because they've done a bunch.
Yeah, let's
So
pull it up. I can pull it up.
they've I'm like, their chemistry in general is probably just so good because they've just, like, worked together a bunch,
Yeah,
which is
so,
so funny.
yeah, The Nanny Diaries is one,
Mhm.
The Perfect Score in 2004,
Yep.
and then just a bunch of, I think Avengers movies. I don't think it's as much as we think, but they had worked twice before doing this together. Nanny
Yeah.
Diaries and The Perfect Score, and the rest, yeah, I'm looking now, are just Avengers stuff. But again, two movies. I
Still,
think how close you get on one film set. And there's Nick, good old boy Nick.
there he is.
Yeah,
I have a theory that they hooked up. There's just no way.
Cap and
There's no
Nick.
way. No.
But we're still on
Cap
Scarlet and Chris.
Cap
Are we on Scarlet and
Cap
Chris or
and
Cap and Black Widow? Or are you
no, no,
talking
no, no, no.
actors or
Cap and Black Widow.
okay,
I don't like to theorize about real
mm,
people, just the
gotcha.
characters in my mind.
So we
Like,
went
they've
from Nick Fury
definitely
and Cap to gotcha. Okay, I got you.
yeah. No, Nick Fury, as we know, has a Skrull wife that he hides in Russia.
I wonder if he has
So,
the scroll like shapeshift into Cap. Maybe it's like a kink thing.
hey, weren't we just talking about this with a different character?
Maybe we were
Oh,
talking about it on
Morph.
X-Men. Even Morph. Yeah. Morph is
Yeah.
basically Wolverine's like shapeshift like the kink is with the shapeshifting. I don't know.
Oh my god. Again, crazy. I think this is the cleanest and, like this is just my favorite
Least
Nick
busy.
Fury.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the visuals because I was like, this is just a clean scene. It's just two guys in an elevator. But yes,
Oh,
I see what
no.
you mean.
The visuals are also very clean, but I'm just saying, like, this is, like, the most put together and, like, grounded and, like, respectable Nick Fury in, like, all the films, I think. Because,
Hmm.
once we get to a certain point in the MCU, like, see, like,
He
phase
lets himself go.
end of, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, like, he gets kinda goofy. But, like, this is Nick Fury, like, in his prime in this movie, you know what I mean?
Hmm. So now we're about to see the new helicarriers, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, in the Avengers, what was it that they were using propellers to lift them? And now they changed it to repulsor technology, I think it was, which is like the
Yeah.
big shift here. So yeah,
Project Insight,
stuff
I
I just
believe
don't
this is called.
understand, but it is in my list
Right.
of trivia things that I pulled up as we started the movie to talk about. So, mm. Samuel L. Jackson here describes Nick Fury as facing a crisis. Almost everything that comes out of Nick Fury's mouth is a lie in some sense. He has to ask if he is even lying to himself. I like that.
Mm.
I like that. Do you want to know what the working title for this film is, Kelsey?
Um, it's like Captain America something something.
Not even Captain America. Like in terms of like you have an audition for this new movie. It is called because they don't want anyone to break NDAs.
Oh, right. So you're saying like the fake title.
Yeah,
Um,
like how like Deadpool and
honest
Wolverine could be like Kitty Pool Howl or something like that. I don't know.
yeah, that was crazy. You
Or like
just came up with
Deadpool
that.
and like Wolverine Howl. I don't know. It has to
Oh,
do with
okay.
Winter Soldier in a way, like winter.
Oh,
Think winter.
okay. Um, the Frozen Man.
Ooh, you're like you know that game on TikTok where it's like you give a number between 0 and 100, how close you are. You're at like a 70 right now.
Ooh, okay. Should I keep
First word, you're at like a 98.
so the
No, 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 no. There's no that. It's two
oh,
words.
Frozen?
Yeah, you're like 98.
Okay, so not Frozen, but very close to Frozen.
Mhm.
Uh, ice?
You're like a
Is it's
85.
a is it a descriptive word?
It's a thing.
Oh, igloo, icicle,
You're you
snowman?
No, you're like getting into the 80s, but you're on the right ballpark. Think Frozen. You're closest with Frozen is 98. Something's frozen after it's in a
Freezer.
yes, okay, that's the first word, freezer. Second word is it is a noun in this sense. It is something,
Uh-huh.
but it is also something that is an action, a verb.
Um, freezer, a noun that's also a verb.
Like in this sense, it is freezer this. Freezer now.
Freezer run.
Mm-mm. But the
Oh,
noun is something that also is a verb in another sense. Like you can this someone. Oh, you just got
oh,
blanked. Yeah.
freezer hunt.
Think about like common
Freezer.
terminology.
Okay.
You don't
Freezer.
want to eat something if it's got
Freezer burn.
freezer burn. That is the working title of this film. Was called Freezer Burn. We got there,
Wow.
Kels. That was a fun
We
game.
got there. That was fun. I liked that game a lot.
You got really close with Frozen. I was impressed. I don't think we would have gotten to Freezer otherwise. Ah, the
I
museum.
I like when they want to put him in incognito stuff, so they just give him a hat.
It's the Superman thing of like, oh, just wear glasses. I'm like, okay.
Aw,
If you're that big of
Bucky.
a celebrity, yeah, if you're that big of a celebrity, you can't just get away with a cap. I mean, I would know. I wear a cap everywhere.
Aw, what look at that sweet little, video of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're
It's crazy.
ex-lovers. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Mm-hmm. This is crazy. Imagine, like, you're
Peggy.
watching videos of your presumably dead best friend and your freaking
Mhm.
lover who's now like 80 or 90. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Why would he willingly sit in on it? That's my question.
Well, he probably just likes to visit just to, it's his only way to, like, reconnect with them on some level, is
Right.
to just, like,
Oh, there she is.
relive
Now
these
she's old.
memories. Okay, the CGIing of Haley Atwell's face is a little
Is
goofy,
it
but I
CGI or is it makeup?
I think it's half and half, really, because you can
She
kinda
doesn't even
tell
look
it's
like her.
like look at her mouth.
Are you sure
It's
that's actually her or is it a different actress? It's her?
no, I think it's her with some, like I said, CGI and, like, also probably some, like, makeup thing and stuff. I forgive it because it's 2014 and they can do way better, but
How would you feel if you're
also,
her? Seeing like a younger version of your lover or the same version you knew, but like just entering your life again. Like that's crazy.
well, they kind of imply in this scene that her, like, memory is kinda going, like, she kinda has, like, dementia or something, like, setting in. So, honestly, from her perspective, she probably just doesn't think much of it. Like, she probably also believes that she is also the same age as him,
Right.
or she just is like, "I'm old and, like, I'm going crazy, so this is my life now."
Sure.
I'm
Yeah, she
seeing,
put it
like,
in
past
process. Yeah.
versions of my lover.
Yeah, definitely her voice. I heard in that line.
Mhm.
She just looks so different.
Ugh,
But she makes it to the next one, right? She's in Civil War briefly,
well,
or it's
she
her
d yeah.
right.
I don't think she's in Civil War, I think her
Her
funeral is
funeral.
just, like, attended.
Okay. So is this the last scene we see of Peggy Carter
Yeah.
until like you know what if and time the end of Endgame? But we really deserve more of her.
Oh, my heart is breaking for these 2 right
That's
now
why I'm trying to talk. I'm trying not to watch because I'll cry.
because he's like,
Oh,
"What?
I
I
can't
had to
believe
come
her
back
best
for my best girl," or something.
yeah,
Oh, well, I
best
couldn't
girl
leave
is
my best girl.
yeah. You still owe me that dance. That's what I love
Oh,
about this. I mean, like, I harp on the franchising of it a lot, but, like, they did a really good job in making things really connect when we got
yeah.
to Endgame, which is further proof why, in retrospect, they might have been better just ending it with Endgame because it's just such a perfect ending. Such a perfect ending.
He's so sweet. Can I just say Captain America is the ideal man.
Just a good guy.
Nicholas J. What's the J stand for? Dill. Trivia.
James? James?
Joseph.
Oh, huh, close enough.
I IMDb'd, some fun facts,
Cool.
and
To
this
lay
really
'em on
quick
us.
short one. This would have been better if I brought up when we were talking about them, but apparently, according to IMDb, Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson wrote their own dialogue for several scenes they had together.
Hmm. We'll have
Could
to hear
be.
later. If the dialogue is pretty shoddy, we can blame them. If it's great, we can praise them. So,
Oh,
so
that's kind of fun.
take me back 10 years, Kels.
Yeah.
When you're watching this, do you have any inkling that this turn is gonna happen? Do you have any inkling this Pierce guy's bad? Or
No.
no, okay, interesting. I don't remember, so I'm
No.
trying to pick your brain. Well, actually, you didn't watch this 10 years ago, but, like, when you did, maybe more like
Yeah.
6 years ago.
No, because I think the first time I watched this, I was really confused with everything that was going on.
Hmm,
Like, just like all the secrets and the deception and
yeah,
everything
yeah,
that I was pretty convinced that, like, he was just like when he says the line where he's like, uh, "Captain, like, somebody killed my friend and I'm gonna get to the bottom of it." Like, I was he had me hook, line, and sinker. Like,
mm,
I believed him.
yeah. I think this is also the nature of, like, okay, you cast Robert Redford, one of the American acting legends.
Mhm.
What kind of role do you cast him in? Like, is it almost too obvious that he's a villain to where you're subverting
Mm,
your own expectations and saying, "Well, he's gotta be good then?" Or is it like you can't get a name like
right.
Robert Redford and not make him the villain? It's really
Mm,
tough, you know? It's like how they're getting Harrison Ford to play Ross in the new Thunderbolts. I'm like, is there gonna be a turn? But, like, he already is kind of,
right.
like, villainous, but, like, it's one of those things where it's like you get someone that big, like, what does that mean, you know?
No, yeah, Dill, that's kind of been my gripe with the MCU for a while now because you can just kind of bank on like any big name that gets attached to the project is
Kurt
most
Russell.
likely going to be the villain.
Yeah,
Like
like
that
Kurt
has been the
Russell.
pattern for like,
Mhm.
the past couple of movies. And so
Kurt Russell,
it's
Michael
getting
Keaton,
predictable.
Jake Gyllenhaal, yeah, yeah. But
Exactly.
then you also have, great, I can't come up with another example that's the opposite.
Well, I will say that, well, the most recent that I can think of right off the top of my head, and I don't wanna say that she's, like, unknown, but I didn't know a ton of her work before I saw this movie, but just and we already feel some type of way about this villain, but I'm just saying, this just came to the top of my head, was, the villain in the Marvels, Dar-Benn.
Yeah, but she's not really a reveal, like, she's not like
Right.
a twist villain. 'Cause I'm thinking of the twist
That's
villains
true.
like Robert Redford, Kurt Russell, um, those are the 2 big ones, but, like, that's a thing, it's like 2 big actors in those
I
roles.
will say, though, like, the Jake Gyllenhaal, the
Yeah,
Mysterio
Gyllenhaal, yeah, another one.
reveal, that had me gooped and gagged, I'm not gonna lie. I
It's
don't
weird
know
'cause
if
I think
that
going
makes me
in
the dummiest dumb person on this planet.
I think I remember going in, people were like, he's gonna play the villain, Mysterio. But then I think when you're watching the film, you're like, oh, they're doing a different twist on Mysterio. He's not the villain. And then,
Right.
yes. That's
See,
kind
I
of what they
didn't
do with Michael
know.
Keaton a little bit too in Homecoming. But
This is kind of the beauty of being a comic book person is because I don't know a lot of, like, the backstories of a lot of these characters, so when I see
Mhm.
them for the first time in these films, I'm genuinely surprised by all of the decisions, and so I didn't know Mysterio was supposed to be a villain. I just thought that he
Right,
was genuinely this guy fighting these elementals, and to find out that it was all illusion, it
right.
was crazy. I just thought of another example, and then it left my mind. Vulture, Michael Keaton. Did you already say that?
I already said it, but it's okay. Bring it up again. Um,
Okay, sorry.
Another thing, one of the other examples, like the opposite, where it's like there's a person who is a big name that's cast that doesn't end up being a villain. Like I
Mm,
can think of like Michelle Yeoh in Shang-Chi, I guess. Ben Kingsley in
mm,
Iron Man 3 is the biggest one. I think that's why people are pissed
mhm.
because they're like, you get a big actor like Ben Kingsley, he's not the villain. I think that's one of the areas where like the movie's so much better because he's not, because that's
Right,
supposed to be a twist villain, then he's a twist hero or twist not a factor.
right. This is a very good action scene happening
Yep.
right now with,
Yeah.
Nick Fury in the car.
Well, about to happen, I guess. Now it happened. Yeah, there we
Right.
go. Smash that car. You spoiled it for all our
Whew,
first time viewers. I'm kidding, kidding.
sorry. Well, mine's actually, I think, like, a hair behind yours still.
Gotcha. But this is great because, like, again, it's so grounded. It's not he's not getting blasted from the sky. It's a 2 cars taking opposite ends,
Mhm.
and I love how he just grabs that, the pen right there, just sticks around his oh, he's so badass. I think another thing is
Yeah.
he's not just the cleanest we've seen, but he's just the most, like, badass, which is funny
Uh-huh.
considering a lot of the movie he spends off screen presumed dead after this scene. This scene really does
And it's
feel
just
not like a
crazy
Marvel movie.
because
Yeah,
I remember watching this for the first time and just thinking like, "How is he gonna get out of this?" Like, this fully ends with, like, Nick Fury getting captured, like, there's no way around it.
or kill.
And all of his, like, Nick Fury quips are so good.
Yeah, he's so good. This is
Mhm.
back before he was just taking the paycheck, you know, when he still wanted to give some heft. Oh, so good.
Mm.
Again, that
The
is a
writers
practical effect right there.
yeah, Christopher Nolan would be proud of that effect.
I was about to say this feels like a very, like, if Dark Knight's the A plus, this is like the
Mm.
B minus version of Dark Knight, if you're comparing just those 2 films, you know? A lot of
Yeah.
people would say this is an A plus too, but, like, comparable, like, Dark Knight's still up here, this is down there, but, like, I feel like this is the Marvel equivalent of what the closest thing to a Nolan Marvel movie would be at this point, because 'cause they'll never get him to make one, but just the
Yeah.
way the score works and the action is so grounded and the use of the city. The only thing it's missing slightly is the visual flair, I think, just the sharpness, but
Mm.
I think it's pretty good.
I I do like, though, how, like, the car is, like, kind of a character with him in the scene, so he kinda has, like, something to play off of
It's like a
and, like,
Vision
talk
type thing,
to.
yeah, or Jarvis.
Yeah, and just the
'Cause
fact
this
that,
is
like,
before Jarvis, right? This is before Jarvis becomes Vision, right?
yeah,
Yeah, wow,
because that wouldn't happen until Age of Ultron, which is 2015.
2015. We'll do next year.
Next year. Oh my god, 2025.
I know Kelsey's psyched to do a commentary on Age of Ultron, her favorite.
Hey, I don't mind Age of Ultron,
I don't
actually.
either. It's gonna be a very positive, I feel like my Marvel opinions don't really line up with more normal people's, you know?
Yeah, because we're Eternals truthers here,
Yeah,
famously,
I
on
think
the
Eternals is better than
Marvelous
this,
Movie
and a lot of people
Mondays.
would put this as their number 1, you know? So it's, it's
Mhm.
also
I will say, this is so random, but, like, fun fact about me is, like, so for a really long time, I had a Hinge profile,
mm,
and one of my prompts was, like, because one of the prompts you can write is, like, "The dorkiest thing about me is," and something that gets a lot of clicks was, like, I put, "The dorkiest thing about me is I can beat you in a Marvel trivia match." And, like, one guy, like, totally called me out, like, a few years ago and was like, I bet I can guess what your favorite movie is." And at the time, I was telling people that it was it's Winter Soldier.
oh,
I
okay.
probably would go back and forth between this and Guardians. Um,
We'll talk about
and
next week.
and I was like, "Okay, guess which one?" And he was like, "I already know it's Winter Soldier." And I was like, wow, he really just came for my neck there. He nailed it."
I
And
hope
so I'm like, is it basic to like this movie?
I do think at the time of, like, pre-Infinity War, I think a lot of people, if you asked what their favorite was, it was probably this or Guardians. But
Mm,
after Guardians 2 came out, I think a lot of people didn't love that one and kinda softened on the Guardians as a whole, even though I think Guardians 2 is the best Marvel movie, period. Oh, there goes Bucky,
mhm.
or sorry, the Winter
Our
Soldier,
first
since we
shot
don't know yet. Yeah, literally,
of the
first shot and
titular
first shot.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Ugh. And this is where, like, yeah, I think the movie does such a good job because I feel like even watching this the first time, I think I might have known it was Bucky just because I knew it was Sebastian Stan playing the Winter Soldier, you know, but it still works because
Mhm.
it's, like, a really cool reveal, you know? It's a good entrance of a character. I was gonna say, did you meet up with that guy?
No.
Should have given him a chance.
Well, I've actually I met this guy at at a bar trivia, and, like, totally, like, gave him my number and, like, was like, "Hey, we should, like, meet up for drinks," and he was like, "Yeah, I'm so down," but then he was like, "Oh, but my work is really busy for, like, basically the next month, like, maybe, like, we can get together next month," and then he, like, just totally ghosted. So, honestly,
Ah,
if you're a man who's into Marvel, you it's a red flag for me at this point. I have trauma.
that's fair. That's fair. And Emily Van Camp here for her first appearance, right? As
Yes.
funny how I
Oh,
don't remember the niece's name, but I remember her actress name.
oh, it's
Peggy?
Sharon,
No,
Sharon Carter.
I just guessed
What?
Peggy. Ah, it's tired. I'm tired.
No, but she did just say, "My aunt, she's a total insomniac," and obviously referring to
Yes.
Peggy being
Mhm.
her aunt, but we don't know that yet.
No, we don't? I
And
thought well, maybe we know that because we know that. But
we don't find that out until the next movie, Civil War. 2 more years, we
oh,
don't know.
shoot. You see, that's the kind of stuff that, like, I just don't even process anymore. I'm not like, you know, I can't even judge her as her own character now. I'm just like, "Oh, yeah, that's Peggy's niece," you know? And then
Oh,
she's
and
playing the '40s music. Is she
this is
playing the
such a
'40s
great
music? 'Cause
scene. No, 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 she just said you left your music
oh, right.
on,
He
and it
has
it
it,
was
right.
it was a signal that Nick Fury gave him to let him know that, like, something hinky's going on.
That's right. Oh, I love that. I love that kinda stuff in, like, spy movies where, like, there's these weird rules that really only
Mm,
apply to, like, that specific and it's a song. It's a song we
mhm.
hear. It's that song.
It's the anthem.
But it's the thing is, like, you know, no spy movie is that a thing where it's like, if this '40s record is playing, you know I'm in trouble. But I love how, like, in this universe, it's like Cap knows that, you know? I love that.
Right.
And I love this kind of stuff in spy movies too, where they're talking, but they're talking about something else because they can't talk about other stuff because they need to keep it. Oh, I love it. I love
Mhm.
spy movies. Oh, and then he turns it off again. Ah, yeah, this scene is just done so well.
Yeah, this is a really good one.
Yeah, ears everywhere. Yep. Oh, so good. Have you seen Hitman yet, Kels? Just came on Netflix.
N No, I gotta watch it. I've heard nothing but good things, so
Yeah,
I gotta check it
this
out.
scene reminds me very much of a great scene in Hitman that I really can't wait for you to see. But
Mm,
just the idea of, like, using phones to like, that's a kinda cool thing about, like, a modern Marvel movie that we don't even see in, like, the 2000s. You can have this scene in 2005, you know, because it would be flip
yeah.
phones or it would be him writing down on a piece of paper, you know?
Sorry, that startled me. Nick
It
Fury
always
getting
does.
shot.
That's why I have the volume way down. Poor Nick.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that his? Oh, flash drive.
Mhm. It's a shame. I would've liked to see him in more movies.
Oh, and there's oh, a sign to protect
So much
Captain America.
random. Yeah, right, right. Imagine being told that as him. Just be like, "What?" Oh, what a great needle drop moment. Just that when that score kicked in.
Yeah, and this is his backup shield. This is not the shield that he was using in the
Right.
beginning.
Again, the
I
sound
don't
design
think.
is so good. Just the way
Yeah.
each time he hits a wall.
How you hear
Oh,
the vibration of the
you, like,
vibranium.
feel the impact and then the oh, what an iconic shot. And it's Bucky's eyes. Oh, the scene is just so well done. I give the Russo brothers a lot of shit, but this is a well-directed movie.
Yeah.
I think the problem is
Dill, who
as their movies got bigger, they kind of were focusing more on just the world building and stuff, but, like, this is where it's like they're actually
mhm,
making stylistic choices, which I feel like the other stuff is more just,
mhm.
like, plot stuff. This is really just really stylistic, which I like. Sorry, go ahead, Kels, what were you gonna ask?
How's Steve Rogers paying for that apartment? You think
Beats
he
me.
gets, like, a stipend?
I feel like
For
the
being
Avengers. I mean, Tony, probably lends him some money.
you think he writes him a check?
Oh, I'm sure.
He's like, "Get yourself something nice on me."
Yeah,
Uh, what
it's
was I gonna
Maria
say?
Hill.
Oh, who wore the eyeliner better, Bucky or Robert Pattinson's Batman?
I mean, I feel like it informs so much of the character in the Batman, so I'm gonna have to go
Mm,
with that. But I mean, good
okay.
rocking of eyeliner, a pretty
No, I
noble
I
effort,
respect that choice.
above average, like C plus. Yeah, it's pretty good.
And of course, we get a fake Nick Fury's death.
Hmm. Which, like, has he ever been better since this movie? To where I'm not saying they should have kept him dead because he does a lot of great stuff in this movie later on, but like aside from Captain Marvel, which is a flashback, I feel like Nick then takes such a backseat in the rest of the franchise, right?
Mhm.
Except for Secret Invasion, which is just dog shit. So like really, I almost wonder if this was like because like this is really one of the first big Marvel instances where a character dies and then comes back. Because we're coming off the last movie before this is Thor: The Dark World, where that happens exactly with Loki. And I'm almost
Mhm.
wondering if this trend could have not been the case here and let it be a powerful death. But I haven't watched this movie in so long, so I'll wait to reserve that till the end of the movie to say whether or not I truly believe that. But I just feel like Nick
Mhm.
Fury, except for Captain Marvel, which is a flashback, has not been as integral, or they haven't
Yeah.
given him much meat to chew in that role since. So I
Like,
don't know.
you think that this truly could have been the last we saw of him.
Yeah,
And
I'm almost wondering. Yeah, or yeah, I just don't know if the fake out death is necessary. Also, like it's weird that he's still alive here, and like they were like at with the body. You don't think they would like check a pulse?
well, they just watched Doctors Call Time of Death on him, so I personally wouldn't touch a corpse, even just to be
I guess,
safe.
but like you can't tell when someone's breathing. I don't know. I haven't been around a lot of corpses that are pronounced dead but are actually alive, so I couldn't tell you. Um, Did you hear there was something on the news actually recently about a woman who, like an old lady from like she was like 98 or something in like a nursing home had like died on hospice, was at like they took her body to the funeral home, and then they noticed she was breathing. And they're like, shit, she's still alive. So they
Oh
took her
my
back
god,
to the
that's
nursing home.
insane.
Yeah, I mean like she was on her deathbed, but still like she wasn't dead yet.
That's insane. That's my nightmare.
Misdiagnosed death. Yeah. Yeah. I mean that's probably the worst thing that could happen to you, especially if they go through with like burying you and stuff.
Yeah.
Or even worse,
Well,
cremating, because
they
then they're like
well, they
then that's
start
murder.
at the funeral home, they would start cutting you open and embalming you,
Yeah.
which ow, that would hurt.
Yeah. I mean, that would kill you if death didn't already. It's kinda morbid to think about, but, oh, I love it. The bubblegum. That is one of our lost people trivia matches, correct? That bubblegum question, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, the vending machine? I think
Mm,
we did I don't know if we asked specifically about the bubble gum, but we definitely asked
in
about
a
the
vending
vending
machine, yeah.
machine.
I almost kinda
Neighbor.
don't like the fact that we don't know who her identity is, because it does make her feel more random, you know?
Mhm.
Like, I feel like
Like
knowing it would have added something more to it. Like, this adds a lot to the audience knowing that she has these stakes of her mother loving this guy. I feel like it would have only helped because it helps me in a rewatch
right.
more. I don't know why they would keep that from us. I get it's a cool reveal, but it's like especially if the audience is going, "Oh, they should fuck," then it's even weirder when
Right.
it's a reveal. It's like the Luke Leia thing in Star Wars, where it's like,
Not exactly, but very close to. It's a little better
right, they're
because
not
at least Steve
related,
and
but
Sharon aren't related.
yeah, instead he's just fucking his lover's daughter or niece.
Niece.
It's like a graduate thing, I guess. Great movie. What's the best thing
Yeah,
you
I
watched
guess
this week, Kels? Sorry.
they really do the bait and switch on us with Sharon Carter because you really start rooting for her just like as a love interest for Cap. And then they kind of like pull a
Make it weird.
180 and you're like, "Whoa, do I
Yeah.
root for this actually? I have no
Yeah.
idea." The best thing I honestly haven't watched a ton. It's been
Mm.
a little bit of a busy week. I've been reading a lot
Same. Oh,
instead of
what's the best thing
watching.
you read? What's the best thing you read except for the subtitles
Well,
on the screen?
I'm working on a book right now that my friend Taylor lent me called The Secret Life of Addie LaRue.
Mm,
And it's not completely off topic. It's a very similar situation to Cap, where this woman named Addie LaRue is like immortal. So she's just lived like 300 years, like, from like 17 something France to like the year 2014. And so it's just kind of like her struggles with that.
cool. Is it
Yeah.
good?
Yeah, it's really good. I'm about halfway through it now, and I can't wait to know how it ends.
Don't
I'm
share her
afraid
secret
that it's
life with us.
oh, I will. I'll keep you posted.
No, don't. I would,
Oh,
it's
no, you
secret.
don't want me to spoil it. Oh, okay.
It's not
Sorry.
secret. We keep secrets here at Marvelous Movie Mondays. Um,
Yeah, we're very trustworthy here.
mhm.
So now Robert Redford's making Nick Fury look like like a sly dog, a scoundrel.
Mm,
Like he was down with no good. You know what I mean?
yeah. Like,
And
oh,
it's
because
hard.
Nick asked me to,
Right.
almost it's almost like the again, I'm making a Star Wars reference that you will not understand, but it's almost the Palpatine Anakin thing of like the villain we don't know is a villain is trying to seduce the hero, not to the darkness, but like try to make
Mm.
him see his lens to get him on board. But then it's like, yeah, it's a little different in Star Wars because you know he's the
Uh,
villain doing it. Here is it's you don't know he's the villain coercing him, but
he's back in
yeah.
that sexy suit. Drink.
Are you talking about Redford or Evans?
Yeah, Cap.
'Cause I'm looking at Redford
Yeah,
right.
no, drink for Robert Redford as well. That
Yeah,
is
I mean,
also a
honestly,
snazzy suit.
aged aged very well, Robert Red Are you very familiar with Robert Redford's, filmography, Kels? Are you a fan?
No.
Huh.
Well, no, I'm not a fan. I'm just not familiar.
You're just not a fan enough to like, you're not a super fan of Robert Redford.
No.
Gotcha. I can recommend some stuff for you.
Oh,
Um,
please
I mean,
do.
his big thing is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. That's, like, his most famous. Um, that's actually the one he founded the Sundance Film Festival because he was the Sundance Kid. Um
Mm.
And so the Sundance Film Festival is named it's Robert Redford's festival basically that he named it after his character. He's in a
Oh, wow.
Natural, which is a great baseball movie. If you watch a baseball movie, it's either going to be Kevin Costner or Robert Redford in it, probably.
Okay.
He's in All the President's Men is like his big one. There's actually a scene, it might have been that scene where he has like a copy of All the President's Men on his shelf or whatever. It's a movie he's in with Dustin Hoffman, which is great. He directed the Best Picture winner in Ordinary People in 1980. That's another good one.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he also directed.
Yeah, no, he's a director. He also directed the movie Quiz Show. Um, have you ever heard of Quiz Show?
Oh, no, sorry. I thought you were talking about Quiz Lady, the
No, no, no,
Aquafina
no.
movie that just came out.
No.
I was like, "Really?"
Yeah, you a fan of Quiz Lady?
I was a fan of that movie. I
Mm,
liked it.
I wish I could
I
be
thought that
you.
it was sweet and oh.
I didn't care
Oh,
for it, but it's okay.
we have the
The
iconic
first one.
elevator scene.
I didn't realize it happened this early. Is
We
this where we kind
must
of get the first this is the first turn, right?
Yes, this is when he's realizing that basically everyone is against him
It
and that
happens
they're
so early.
planning on taking him down.
I guess we only have an hour and a half left, but still, like, feels early. We'll get back to Quiz
Yeah.
Show in just a because I wanna tell you something fun about Quiz Show, but
I
yeah, we gotta
mean,
watch this
I
scene.
think it feels early just because the callback of it that happens in Endgame, like, happens in, like, end of act 2 of that
Yeah.
3-hour epidemic.
I just thought the Hydra reveal came later, but maybe it does, and this is just not the full reveal, but like a hint.
Mm, Cap is
Ugh,
just so smart.
yeah, got good
Oh,
intuition.
here's
He's got
David
better spidey
Dastmalchian.
senses. He's got better spidey senses. Oh, that's the guy you thought was him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's him. We finally come back around on that. That's
Chris
funny.
Evans is just doing so much with his eyes right now. Like
Mm,
this all of what he's conveying with this like realization is really just happening right here.
mhm, I agree.
Oh, Before we start, does anyone wanna get out?
Oof.
Oh,
Again, the sound, I love it.
yeah, you're
I
right,
love I
Dill.
love those little cuff things that just stick to the wall. Again, I love anything that just gives, like, this really interesting barrier for them. Reminds me of
Mhm.
Tom Cruise climbing the Burj Khalifa in Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol.
Ooh, that was a great shot of the camera in the
Mhm.
elevator and someone smashing into it.
Yeah.
It's all
Like,
these
here, I
little
think it's a little too
details.
cutty. I think there's a little too many cuts. Like, I honestly think it'd
Okay.
be more impressive if we didn't see it, but I get it. It's a style thing. It's just not my style.
Oh, you didn't like the camera shot.
I like the camera shot, I just wish there was less cutting in
Okay, I
general.
understand. Ooh, just threw that guy against the ceiling.
I do like this last shot, though, of everyone just lying there and him
Mhm.
standing, and I do like that camera shot they cut back with the glass. Oh, now everyone's there as he opens it, and then boom,
Oh, yeah.
cuts the elevator and
And now
zoom,
he's
it's
like,
going down.
"Okay,
That's great.
plan B, gotta
Yeah,
go. I'm
what a
out."
blast. Again, a very Star Wars thing that reminded me of Revenge of the Sith with the Obi-Wan Anakin, uh, elevator scene. And now this is, like, kind of blending a bunch of my favorite movies together, the scene. Like, I'm thinking of Mission Impossible, and I'm thinking of oh, that's a very Mission Impossible moment right there.
Mhm. And Tom Cruise would have done all of this himself, smashing through the glass
He
and
would've. He probably
landing
would've
on
died.
his little
Yeah.
dish,
His what?
trash can,
His little
his little
dish.
dish.
I heard something else.
No, I
Landing
was
on
talking
his
about,
little
like
I was like I
no,
heard
no,
something else
no.
with the TI coming out of my mouth.
I don't wish that upon anyone.
No, especially not Tom Cruise, he's short enough. Um, I love this.
The
See, this is where the CGI is very noticeable because everything is so practical that when it is CGI, it's very
mm.
noticeable. Like, this stuff doesn't age well for me, but I
And
like the
even then,
motorcycle.
I like the motorcycle too. That's like an
Oof,
element of Cap that we don't get a lot in the movies, his motorcycle.
yeah. I do love that jump he just did. Just so well choreographed. Again, too many cuts. Oh, it just keeps cutting. I'm like, I just wanna watch it.
Mm, I get what you're saying, Dill.
It's the same issue I have with Black Widow too. Sitwell. That's won people trivia matches as well, his name, Mr. Jasper Sitwell.
Agent Jasper Sitwell, portrayed by Maximiliano Hernandez. I
Back
believe he
to
appears in 4 movies.
there you go. You want me to fact check that?
Go ahead, fact
How
check
how
me.
confident do you feel with that? On a scale of 1 to
On a
10.
scale from 6.
Okay. Pulling up the IMDb. Alright, here we go.
I believe it's Thor, The Avengers, this film, and Endgame. I think those are the 4 movies he's in.
Alright, we're gonna find out right now. Thor,
Yeah.
The Avengers,
Uh-huh.
this, Endgame. You're correct. Nicely done.
That's why they call me the best.
But he's also in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and also in the one shot, The Consultant, the one
Mm.
short film, so,
Oh,
um,
this is a good scene. You wanna
very good.
talk about sexual tension, Dill.
No, right
It's
there that
palpable.
there's that thing that we learned in acting class, when you're that close, you either have to punch or kiss. That's like the
Yeah.
rule
Kiss
whenever
close.
actors get what is that?
I
Kiss
say
close.
kiss close.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, she even gave the look up and down. You know that thing girls do where
mhm,
you might not know,
mhm.
but the thing yeah, yeah, the look down, look up. Not to make
Like,
it a gender
you
thing.
cannot look me in the face and tell me that these 2 have not made love. Look at the tension. You can
Actors or
cut it with a
characters?
knife. The characters.
I would go further, but okay, yeah, the characters.
Listen, we're not here to speculate. Chris Evans is now
Oh,
happily could be married at this point.
Oh,
Yeah, I bet you look
yeah, that line.
yeah. Yeah, I bet you look terrible in them now. Oof, that he's flirting. He's
Yeah.
flirting.
Yes, he is. I'm gonna take a sip of beer for this scene.
Oh my god, we still haven't even gotten to my favorite action moment, the knife fight.
Yeah, which made it very far, I think, on our bracket, correct? When we did them way back
Mhm.
when. We might need to do revamps of all those brackets because there's plenty
Yeah.
of things we could add. Villains and heroes and action. Do you like these kind of hologram things? This is also very Star Wars.
I I like it, Dill. I like it because as grounded as this movie is, it's still like these little, like, very advanced technological moments
Mm,
just remind us that, like, this is taking place in, like, a full other universe and that, like, SHIELD does have the, you know,
yeah,
the
it gives it
access to
the
things.
fantasy too elements that I
Right,
think.
exactly.
Yeah.
I love how Scarlett Johansson is wearing heeled sneakers
Wait, who's that guy with
because
the glasses and the cap? I didn't recognize him. Oh,
oh,
and the girl with the
oh,
hoodie. The girl with the hoodie. Wow, they look nothing like Scarlett Johansson and Chris
and
Evans.
that's crazy.
I'm sorry, but having
Yeah,
watched Hitman, you could have made it a better disguise, my friend. Glenn
hat and
Powell has, like,
glasses.
13 different looks in that movie, or 15 or
Mm.
something. There's one where he's, like, literally Tilda Swinton. You'll see. You'll see. You'll know exactly which one I'm talking about too. You'll be like, there's the Tilda Swinton look.
Can't wait.
Is that David Desmalchian right there?
Mhm.
Did they ever show the Apple logo here? Because that must
Mm,
have been a big
um,
shell of money.
I don't know if they showed on the
Oh, yeah,
computer,
there
but
it is. It's on his shirt.
it's yeah, 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 that's what I was gonna say, it's on his shirt, the worker
Wow.
that helps them.
Do you think Apple asked Marvel to use like how does that work? Does Marvel pay Apple to use their logo or does Apple basically ask Marvel to advertise their brand? Or is it both?
I think it's probably a mixture of both. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna have a scene in an Apple store," and they're like, "Great, we would love the exposure." And I think they probably just both shake hands about it and agree that it's great that they're both using each other. You know what I mean?
Mhm. The great
My
NJ,
favorite
Newton,
part
New Jersey.
my, favorite part about that scene, Dill, was, obviously Black Widow is very quick on her feet, very used to lying and deceiving people. So she's like, "Oh, we're just looking at honeymoon locations. With my husband." And Cap's like way of like joining in on the improv on the bit is going, "Right, yes, we are getting married."
We're in love. Yes.
He just like states a very like
Yes,
vague
and.
fact.
Yes, and but you're just repeating what it is.
No, he said yes, and he tried his best. And now we're getting into the nitty-gritty.
Here we go.
Yeah,
And
hell yeah, they're gonna kiss.
yep, and it works.
She's like, "PDA makes people really uncomfortable," and he's like, "Yeah, it does. I don't like doing it."
Yeah. It is a very I know that that moment's meant to make, like, the audience kinda be like, "Ooh," but I'm also like, I
Yeah.
don't know, it always makes me a little weird. Like, it's a
Oh,
cool
yeah?
like, it's a funny little bit, but, like, I agree, I it makes me uncomfortable. Maybe because of just I don't know.
No, I get it.
But again, a lesser movie would've made them break out of it and have this, like, moment of looking like, "Hmm," like, but they don't do that. She's just like, "Oh, back to business as normal."
If the fact that I'd read about them writing their own lines, I would not be surprised if they had come
And
up
this
with this scene
this
together.
scene, I'm 95. That's crazy. She's 95 years old.
I'm 95, I'm not dead. So is he insinuating that he's been, like, playing the field a little bit? You think Captain America makes, like, late night booty calls?
No, because he even just said there's not a lot of people to, like, practice with or, like, have, like, those connections with. I don't know, maybe he has booty calls, but maybe they're not, like,
Well,
connection.
because he just said it was not my first kiss since 1945.
Oh, yeah, so he's probably been getting a lot in the last year because this is very fresh after the Avengers,
Ooh.
correct? This is what, 2 years? Less than 2 years?
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, Avengers is 2012 and canonically, and this
So
is
he's
now
still going to see
2014.
his girlfriend who's old and, like, fucking other girls on the side? I
Well,
don't
a
know what's
man
going
has
on.
needs.
Maybe it's just kissing, maybe it's very polite, maybe it's like, he goes to a
Maybe he just
bar,
keeps going out
meets
on dates
someone
and then, like,
meets someone who says she could beat him in Marvel trivia, and he goes, "Try me," and she says
oh
something,
my
and he's like, "Yeah,
god.
no, you clearly love Winter Soldier most," and then
I think
goes
he was genuinely, Jill, let's get into it. It's midnight. I genuinely think that he might have been a little intimidated because I won. I won the bar trivia all by myself. Or
Yep,
maybe he just thought I was a major loser and was like, "Okay, I'm a fan, but I'm not this big of a fan. I can't, like, interact
or
with this girl."
or maybe a bit of both. Maybe he was like, I'm intimidated by you because you're a loser."
Okay, could be.
Could
Not
be.
the first time I would have intimidated someone
I'll
with
admit,
my
the way my
dorkiness.
ring light is situated and the way I'm watching this, I can't even see the picture in this, and I think
Mm,
that's a sign of 2 TV directors
it's
being
too
given a big film and just not knowing how to light this freaking movie. Like, I cannot
ah.
even see what's going on.
Honestly, from here on out, we don't really get a huge break in the tension as the audience because they just escaped the mall. Now they're gonna have this big escape
I
sequence where they
literally
don't
cannot
really
see shit.
escape.
This is crazy. It almost looks like my
What?
computer is off. It looks like a black screen. Alright, there we
Oh.
go. See some light. But even then, yeah, like, what a terribly lit scene that was. Sorry. Cinematographer, boo. Bad job. Who cinematographied this? Who cinematographed this? That's not a word.
Oh god, I don't know.
I'm gonna look right
That's
now.
not part of the trivia, uh, credentials.
They wanna hide it because he's not doing a good job. Um,
Mm,
just kidding. I shouldn't. It's harder the more I evolve my career, the more I have to be careful of who I compliment or say critical things of. Trent Opalak. I'm gonna find a movie I like of Trent Opalak, so it doesn't sound like I'm shitting on this too much. So he seems like a strictly Russo guy. He did Winter Soldier, he did Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. And he
mm,
also did some short films and like music videos and stuff. And then he did Elysium and Chappie and District 9, which are all Neil Blomkamp films, which are
mm,
very much like kind of supposed to be almost documentary-esque with like shoddy camera work and stuff. So I get it.
mhm.
Okay, that's kind of his style. So I get it. It's a little more shaky cam grounded, but not a big fan of the cinematography in this film, but it is what it is. At least the lighting. Some of the camera actual shots are really interesting, it's just the composition of the lighting is just not always perfect, but that's
Mhm.
me. That's minor. See, that's the stuff that gets me, ghosted at bars, is talking about the lighting of fucking Marvel movies. Yeah, the shot composition, the color grading, and they're all just like, "Shut the fuck up." I
Just
actually
going
entered
off
the
on
bar with that. I'm like, "Who wants to talk about color grading? Because that matters." Again, this scene, can't see a fucking thing.
well, I think that's the point. We're not supposed to know about
There we
oh,
go.
there the lights go.
I know, but it's still like,
No, I know, I know.
I find it funny that he's just carrying a shield everywhere. Like, I wonder how heavy that thing is. I guess it doesn't
Well,
matter
he's
for him, but
Captain America. It's probably like holding a feather to him.
imagine if he just walked around with a feather.
I gotta say something. I think her hair would
You'd
be
be saying a
better
lot.
if she if
I was
she
gonna
had
say,
some
say
bangs.
something because we have to talk for another hour. Say something. You thought your hair would be better with bangs?
Yeah. It's just something about how it comes so,
I
like,
agree.
straight in the front that
I
I
agree with
just,
that.
like, really don't like. Like, I
This
think
is
she
not my
needs
least
some.
favorite hairstyle of hers, though. Okay, tell me right now, Kelsey. What's your like ranking of Natasha hairstyles?
I think her first hairstyle when she has all those awful extensions in Iron Man 2, when
Is the worst.
Cappy? Who the fuck is Cappy?
We just talked about Chappie, so I get where you're that was in your brain, but
Oh, I'm losing
Happy.
it, Dill.
Okay.
Happy drives her to the
Oh,
location where
wait,
Ivan Vanko is
Dobby
supposed to be, and
this is
she
Dobby
has
the
that.
elf. Sorry. It's a Emil Zola scene, right? That's his name?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Arnhem
Arm
Zola.
Emil Zola's the movie from the 30s or 40s that won Best Picture. That's my bad.
Could be.
Arnim Zola.
But in her first action sequence ever, not the boxing ring sequence, but, like, the one at the end of the film where you see her with all the wires and the spy gadgets and all that stuff, she has this awful, awful, huge, curly mess of a wig on, and I hate it, and that's my least favorite,
Hmm.
um, Black
Trying to
Widow
pull up a
look.
picture so I can look at them all. Wait, one more time. So which one do you hate the most?
The Iron Man 2 look
Yeah, okay,
at
the
the end.
extensions.
Yes.
Gotcha. You know what?
But this
My
is
f
what I'm saying.
my favorite might be Age of Ultron because it's, like, a little curly, but it's still short.
Mm,
I like her Civil War look too because it's still got that wavy flow to it.
yeah, I also really like the platinum bob that
I
she
don't know.
has in Infinity War.
It's a cool departure, but I like her better with the red hair. I don't know what it is.
I get it.
I also don't this is a weird thing about me. I you know the movie Gentlemen Prefer Blondes? It's the opposite. I prefer brunettes or well, I've never actually, like, been with a redhead. Hmm. I feel like redheads are a little harder to like, real redheads. You know, a lot of
Yeah,
it's, like,
apparently they're going
dyed.
extinct.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a thing. Wow. Because like, even, like, this redhead is, like, more, like, dyed red, you know?
Yeah.
But Dobby the elf.
But
Did
we
you
get
know
a
that?
lot of information in this movie, Dill. Like, there's a lot to keep up with all the reveals and the plot twists and the espionage of it all.
Yeah.
What am I trying to say?
Espionage? Espionage.
Espionage. Thank you. I'm like, I know I didn't say it correctly.
Espanol. I really love Toby Jones's voice, though. Did you know he was Dobby
Yeah.
the elf?
Yes, I did.
Of course you did.
Yeah, because he's in all 3 of the major franchises. He's in the Marvel Universe, he's in the Harry Potter franchise,
I wanna
and
hear what
he's
your
in the
3rd
Hunger
one is.
Games.
Okay. So in your opinion, the 3 most notable franchises are Marvel, Hunger Games, Harry Potter?
Why? Because you think one of them should be Star Wars?
I would say the 3 big ones at this point. I don't even know if I'd put Harry Potter there anymore.
So you think the 3 big ones are Marvel, Star Wars, Hunger Games?
No, not Hunger Games, but I'm trying to think of, like,
Oh.
right now what the biggest I was thinking, like, Batman, but that's different because it's, like,
Mm,
Batman's been through so many different iterations. I guess it would still be Harry Potter just based on, like, you know, the theme parks and the franchising, but
yeah.
in terms of what franchises are hot, you know, honestly, it might be the Minions in terms of box office dollars. That might be, like, the 3rd hottest franchise next to Marvel and Star Wars right now. That's just, like, cranking out money.
We are both of us out of time. Ugh, scary shot.
But has Toby Jones been in Star Wars? Because if so, then we could say he's been in the Mount Rushmore of, you know, popular franchises.
Very scary, them getting attacked by all that concrete.
Oh, he's also in the Indiana Jones movies, so that's another notch on the belt.
He's working, my guy. He's booked and blessed.
Um, he was in the movie First Cow, which is great. He's the voice of Owl and Christopher Robin, the Pooh franchise, a very near and dear franchise to me.
Winnie the Pooh or Paddington?
What are you asking me?
I'm
Like
asking you to pick
F. Mary
the
Kill
bear.
or like or oh,
Fuck,
ah,
Mary kill. No,
that's why
no,
I'm so
no.
confused.
They're
I
too
thought you were gonna throw a
innocent for
third.
that.
Which one do I like more?
Which one are you saving from a horrendous car wreck?
Oh, you can't do that to me. One I feel like one is, like, alive and one is not, though. So it's easy in that sense. I'm saving Paddington because he's a living, breathing animal, whereas Pooh is just a stuffed animal. I could
Okay.
I could sew him up.
Okay.
That's the same argument with Ted. Ted, you could just sew up.
Let's oh,
Were you gonna diss my boy
okay.
Teddy?
No,
Or
what I'm gonna say is that this scene is interesting because he comes down
I
for
would
a
love to see
glass of
it.
milk, and I resonate with that because I like milk. I drink it a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that's never just a beverage I go to though. It's always like a if I'm having cake or if I'm having cookies or like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
eating wings. I feel like milk is there as an aid to dryness or spiciness, but I never feel like it.
Gotcha.
I never feel like it's just like, ah, I just got home from work. I'm gonna sit on the couch and drink a milk. You know?
This is a sexy shot of Bucky
Oh, yeah.
with the
Again,
light just hitting
I,
his eyes.
I was gonna say, yeah. I guess this is intentionally dark because of that shot with the light in the eyes. But again, it just is too dark for me. Like, I can barely see it, and maybe it's just my computer. Let me turn the brightness up
Ooh,
more. No, it's up all the way. I actually made it worse turning the brightness up, honestly. Who is this lady?
uh, his housekeeper, her name's Renata, she's about to die.
Renat you know her name?
Yeah.
That's kinda okay, he just said it, but
Oh,
that's
Renata,
crazy. Okay, so that's where we find out he's bad. Or we've kinda known.
yeah.
Oh, and then Falcon. Yeah, that's one thing I forget is that they really just kinda sideline him for a whole hour. And you'd think because the whole first opening scene was the 2 of them that they would make him a more consistent presence, but
Mhm.
maybe not. Oh, I
Don't
love
worry, he's back. He's back and he's better than ever.
I know.
If Captain
Oh,
America and
I
Black
like
Widow
the line,
turned up
"Not
on
everyone." Mm.
yeah. If
Such a
they turned up on your doorstep, would you let them in and help them? Oh my god.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Kelsey, would you like my beer? Oh, again, sexual tension because he's getting
Oh,
out, he's looking at her.
Dill, I could you could crack my head open on one of those arms. Okay. I'm not saying, like, in a weird way, I'm just saying, like, they look so lethal that I feel like I could just go bang and crack my
You
head
almost
open
said
on
that
one of
as if
them.
you're like, "I want it." Like, it's almost like a kink,
No, no, no,
"Split
he
my
can
head open and
definitely
give me
split me
stitches."
open like a pistachio if he wanted to, but
This is crazy.
y you're
Another
dead to me
franchise,
after hours, okay?
Toby Jones was also in the Muppets franchise, he's in Muppets Most Wanted.
Oh, we're back on Toby Jones. I wanna
Oh,
talk
yeah,
more
I'm
about
still on
Chris
Toby
Evans'
Jones.
arms.
I wanna talk about Toby Jones. He's in the Doctor Who for a series.
Her hair looks better
Man
in
gets
this
around.
scene when it's, like, all wet from, like, taking a shower, because I like the wave to it. I think maybe it's less about the bangs and more about how straight it is. I think that's what bothers me about this.
That's fair. I've always underrated her, honestly. She's
Ugh,
beautiful, 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 beautiful human being. I love it. I love Sam. Just assuming they don't
maybe
eat breakfast.
breakfast,
Oh, I
like,
love her
you know.
hair here. Her hair looks so good there in that one shot because now it's, like, freshly, like, blown out.
Ugh. See, I don't like it straight. This is what I was just
No, I
saying.
know, but just it looks I just wanna run my my fingers through it, it's so soft. It looks so soft. Like,
See,
soft and shiny.
I get it, Jill. I get it.
Does that come across as weird as you say you're gonna crack your
No.
head like a pistachio on Chris Evans'
No,
muscles?
no. I could crack my head on his muscle, but he could crack me open like a pistachio.
Ah, okay. So it's not necessarily never mind. I'm not even gonna ask my follow-up of where he's cracking. I'll just leave that to the audience to infer.
That's up to
Um,
your imagination.
yeah. Sam, though,
Get my
he's got muscles,
okay.
not quite as big, but yeah, no, we're done with the talking of cracking.
Okay, fine. I was gonna take it to a really weird place, but
As if you hadn't already.
Ah.
I love how he's talking about Captain America needing his help when he is now Captain America. I think that's funny.
Mhm. Captain America needs my help. No better reason to get back in. Oh, Falcon, name drop. Here it is.
Hmm. Oh, Gary Shandling. I forget he's in this movie.
Yeah, he comes back.
Damn. And how many years after this did he pass? This was
Oh my
probably one of
god.
his last roles.
He's dead?
Yeah, it was a big deal. So for anyone who doesn't know, Gary Shandling is like one of the greatest comedians ever. Like just one of
Yeah.
the most iconic comedians, and the fact that he did like this boring, like very flat role in a Marvel movie is quite surprising. But yeah, he's like a legendary comedian. He's also the voice of Vern in Over the Hedge.
Of co of course, the all-time classic Over the Hedge. How could
But
we
you
not?
didn't know wait. You don't know Over the Hedge?
Uh,
The
maybe,
turtle
but
Vern?
it's
Oh, this we
is that
gotta
the main
unpack this.
character?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's kind of him, RJ, and Hammy in a way. Um, you don't know
What,
what this is all going over your head. Wow.
no. You
He
could be
passed
speaking
in
another
2016,
language.
so he passed 2 years
Oh,
after. So yeah, very sad. Very sad. Great actor.
damn.
Stan. Sam's so cool.
Yeah,
Stan. Why did I say Stan?
he's a smooth guy.
Oh, Jasper won't be sitting well after this fight.
Hey, did you have that one ready to go, Dill, or did
I
you just
did.
think of
I
that?
wish I did.
You wish you had it ready to go, or you wish you just thought of it?
Yeah, because I think this just makes me too cool that I was able to come up with that on the top of my head.
Oh, okay.
I wish I was a little humbler about that comment, but no, I made that up on the top of my head. Oh,
There's a
that is
oh,
crazy. She just fucking just drop kicked him off.
oh yeah, meanwhile, through
That
all of
is
their
like,
sexual tension, she's trying to hook him up with someone.
yeah. You know what's kind of crazy though? That is like very like I get it, but like that was I think a little borderline cruel. You dropped a man off a building knowing someone was gonna catch him, but like that is rough. Okay, very interesting. Stephen Strange, name drop. His
Yeah,
movie doesn't
yeah.
come out until 3 more years after this. Very interesting.
I was waiting for the Stephen Strange drop.
Sorry. I should have let you bring it up.
No, 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 it's okay. He also said a TV anchor in Cairo, which is the city we were in Egypt in Moon Knight. So I'm wondering if
Do we know a TV anchor in
that's
Cairo, or is that like a season 2 thing?
well, are we getting a season 2 of Moon Knight?
Well, we haven't met the TV anchor yet, so maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Could be like a Secret Wars thing, which
Don't get
apparently
my hopes up, Dill, because I would love a season 2 of Moon Knight.
mm, apparently a Secret Wars from I read something on the news this week. I guess this is a good time to talk about this. Let me actually find the actual let me find the actual news article so I'm not misquoting it.
Oh, yeah, because he dies in this movie, so that's why he doesn't come back until Endgame.
Oh, Siwa. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna get ripped out of the car really
So
quick.
I don't know if it's secret. Oh, what a good death. Have we read
Oof.
top 10 deaths in Marvel?
Yeah, we
Um,
have.
you done like saddest though, but like just like good deaths, like or good kills, like like that. That was epic.
Yeah,
Oh, this scene. So is this the knife fight? Almost.
almost. We're almost there.
I did
They
find
have
the
to
article.
leave.
So
Oh,
it's
go ahead.
it's not necessarily Secret Wars. It's whatever the next Avengers movie is, which might be Kang Dynasty, might be Secret Wars, might be something else. The next Avengers movie may feature more than 60 characters returning to the MCU. It is already said to be one of Marvel's biggest productions ever. So,
Mm.
good chance you'll see everyone
I
back
think
again.
I thought, Thunderbolts was next.
That's not an Avengers movie though. That's its own thing. It's not Avengers Thunderbolt.
Oh,
The next
well,
Avengers movie.
is that a Well, we don't know what's going on with the Avengers movies
Right,
anymore
because of
because
Kang,
we
yeah,
had to go back to the drawing board.
yeah.
Oh my
Oh, this
god.
is so good.
Sam is just rolling.
Yeah, they see him rolling, they hating. Oh, I like that zoom in shot to the shield before the bounce.
Ooh,
But
yeah, that
again,
was good.
too busy, too many cuts. Like, I bet if I sat and actually counted all the cuts in this movie, we'd be well over 4,000.
And that's too many.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just look, like, how busy it is, just bump, 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 cut, 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 cut. Oh my god, like, that's it's too much, it's too much. I was gonna say, people watching Marvel movies with me, they'll never watch them the same because 'cause they'll just be counting the freaking
Mhm.
cuts and wondering, "Why couldn't they just do this in one shot?"
That was a
But
cool shot
they've
of
learned.
Black Widow
It was.
when she, like, flings down from the bridge and then she just starts running.
Oof.
Thought that was
And then she's just
cool.
standing under just like, "Pew, pew, pew." I think that pose she's standing under the bridge with is kinda funny. She's just kinda standing there
Yeah.
just like a little toddler asking to be picked up. Do, 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 do. So funny. It is crazy how long 2.5 hours is to just talk. It is quite a while. I did a whole
Right.
24-hour subathon, but these always feel longer for some reason. Not that the conversations aren't good, but it's like you really have to fill the time.
Yeah.
You don't have really a
And
topic
it's
to
hard
talk
not
about.
to get distracted by the good movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's the arm, the metal arm. So, what give me your reaction, like, watching this for the first time when you watched it. Like, what did you feel about all this Bucky stuff? Did you like it? Were you like, "No, Bucky," or had you not really grown too close yet to Bucky, or he's kind of a non-factor? Because when I
Well,
watched
I
it,
was
I
just
barely remembered Bucky was even a character in First Avenger because it was so much time. I didn't rewatch First Avenger to watch this, you know?
I was just happy to know that Bucky was still alive and
Mm,
that I knew that given the time and the right tools and resources that he could bounce back to his former glory of
mm.
being a dapper gentleman. But it's just like a really good reveal and a really,
Mhm.
really sexy fight that they have with the 2 of them. And then him going Bucky, and then the reply being, "Who the hell is Bucky?"
I
It's
love how you're
just
saying it right before it happens, as if we're not gonna
yeah.
just watch that unfold. It's the beauty of these.
Well, I wanna make sure that people in the
No.
back hear it as well.
I know, I know.
I feel like I should
He's
sit up. I'm getting too comfortable.
It's okay. He's only grown as an actor too. He really has. Are you excited for The Apprentice, the new film he's in?
I
Where
am
he's playing
because
Donald Trump?
I really do like Sebastian Stan as an actor,
And it's
even
very
if he
interesting
is
playing Stone.
playing
Well, they can't even find, like,
a
distributors for it
convicted
because it's such
felon.
a controversial film, so
Right. Especially
oh,
now.
there we go. Classic Natasha,
Yeah.
sitting on your shoulders.
The head move, the wrap the legs around the head.
Hmm.
Wow,
The only
she's quick.
context I was gonna say, yeah, the only context where the wrap the legs around the head move is a fighting term.
Yeah.
You got where
Unless you're trying to get cracked open like a pistachio, then you guys know what I'm talking about. The
It's
old
full
wrap
circle
the
moment
legs
for
around the head move. Classic.
oh, that sound effect. I honestly am gonna say right now, the Pickle Award for Best Sound in 2014 is going to this
Ooh,
film. I love Guardian's
he
sound, I love Whiplash's sound, especially with the musical instruments, but, like, this sound design is next level.
Cap just hit his head on the ground so hard, he's gonna have a concussion.
It reminded me,
Ooh,
let me look
cool
up the Oscars.
shot.
Let me look up the Oscars and see what this won or was nominated for.
Ooh, here it is, the knife fight.
Yep.
Ooh, the way he throws it and catches it. Drink.
Oh, whew. Again, I just love how tactile and how, like, just hand-to-hand minimalist these fights are. This
Mhm.
specific fight. Would love for them not cut the camera so much, but that's the last time I'll say that. Oh! Oh! Up, here we go, here we go. I'm so
What?
I'm surprised he hasn't recognized him yet, you know? Like, it's kinda like the whole thing where, like, Cap wears a
Well,
baseball cap and glasses, like, you really couldn't tell whose eyes those were? It's the
the
most distinctive
last
feature.
the last time he saw his friend Bucky, first of all, he had 2 regular human arms and short hair and was
Yeah, I
probably
guess.
a little thinner.
But it's also like I feel like if it was
So
like a RoboCop thing where you only saw the bottom of the like, if it was, like, masked here and then he took that off, that would be more, like, of a wow moment than just taking off, like, what do the lips give you? You know, like, who is this? It's me. It looks the same.
yeah,
I don't
but Dill, if you were wearing, like, a COVID mask, right? How we all used to walk around like this,
know. Mhm.
and your hair was completely different from the last time I saw you, and you also had a metal arm, don't know if I would assume that it was you right away.
Maybe. But if you were fighting me for a good, like, 5 minutes, you still wouldn't know, like, I don't know. I do like
Maybe.
this reaction from Chris Evans. This is one of Chris Evans' most underrated performances, I think, because
No, it's a
he's
really,
always
really
kind
good
of
performance.
yeah, he's always kind of, like, brushed off as, like, "Oh, he's just stoic and kind of generic and bland." But I think he's a good actor, and I think this performance is especially of all of a lot of films, is the one that,
Yeah,
like, I
me
think has the
too, Dill.
most interesting layers to it. Sorry, it's the beer. Um, and
Mhm.
what Oscars do you think this was nominated for, Kels? How many do you think this was nominated for?
1.
Yes, 1 Oscar. What do you think that was?
Visual effects.
Yes. That's the trivia champion right there. Do you know what beat it?
In
That's gonna
2014.
that's gonna have to start being our
Can
new
you
trivia thing.
can you tell me the nominees and I'll pick
Sure.
which one I think?
In alphabetical order, the nominees. We have time. Why don't you guess the nominees? So the other one is another Marvel film that came out that year.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was not the one I was thinking of, but yes, there's also a third Marvel film that year. What else do you think was
Oh, The Amazing Spider-Man?
no.
Oh.
It's from a franchise that we covered last week.
Oh, X-Men.
Which one?
Okay, so what came out in 2014? Um,
Think about visual
X
effects.
X-Men Days of Future Past.
Correct. So it was Guardians, this, Days of Future Past. The other one is from a franchise that actually just had a 5th movie or 4th movie come out in theaters a few months ago or a month ago.
Mad Max.
Not quite.
Oh,
Good guess. You're on the right track. There's another
it
franchise
came
that
out
came
of
out a few months ago or a month ago. This is the second film of this like new revamped franchise. Andy Serkis is the lead.
Oh, the Apes movies.
Yep. So Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and then another one
Yeah.
is a Christopher Nolan film
Um,
about
that
space.
that oh, Interstellar.
Yes. So the nominees that year were Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Guardians of the Galaxy, Interstellar, and X-Men: Days of Future Past. What do you think wins?
Good year for visual effects.
Very good.
Um, I think that Interstellar won.
It did. It won. Interstellar won.
Damn,
It's very
tough
interesting because
tough competition.
it is tough. I think I would have given it to Interstellar, but Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is that sneaky number 2. Those ape designs are so good. And this movie has pretty solid visual effects. I think this is the weakest probably of the 5 because I think Guardians and X-Men are slightly better than it too, but it's still a, good lineup. Um, but it didn't get nominated for sound, which is weird.
Mm.
Sound editing was between American Sniper, Birdman, The Hobbit 3, Interstellar and Unbroken, and it went to American Sniper, and then sound mixing went to
Mm,
Whiplash, and then Interstellar, Unbroken, American Sniper, and Birdman were also nominated for that. So a little weird that
mm.
this was not nominated for any sound awards, especially
Damn,
with American Sniper winning.
2014. What a year for films, Dill.
I know, that's what's so fun about this retrospective. So I'm covering, I'll picture this, I'm covering all the nominees. So it's like Birdman, Boyhood, Imitation Game, Selma,
Hmm.
Theory of Everything, and then Whiplash, and then I'm also covering some of the other gems. Big Hero 6 came out that year. Another Marvel film.
This is a sexy scene with Bucky. Get your drinks ready.
He kind of looks
He-
without the
He's
facial hair,
getting
he kind of looks
tortured
like a little
though.
baby. He looks like a grown baby.
Right.
A little bit.
It's like a grown
Like when he's
baby.
just sitting there, kind of just like this. He just looks like Big Baby from
Well,
Toy Story.
he's kind of this like mindless. Ew, no. Don't compare him to the baby from Toy Story 3.
Well, Big Baby here.
No, stop. I knew you were going to do a Lotso voice too.
I love
That
it.
poor baby, dude. He's
Well,
getting
Big
used and
Baby will
abused
take
that
care of
whole
you.
film.
Come join me, Ken and Big Baby. I don't know. I love Toy Story 3. I know you're not a fan, but
It's just like I look at Bucky and I'm like, I can fix him.
it's just the weird
I
thing
can
of like
fix him.
a 90-year-old man, but he's a baby man.
He's like this mindless
Little
like
baby face.
creature basically. He's
Aw,
basically
he's a
like
little child.
Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, this is a Frankenstein story, I would say. I think it's a twist on it, but it is. Like the
Where
little pouty, little baby man. He looks like a little
s-
baby. He looks like a baby who like just got his toy taken away.
stop saying that about him.
Sorry. I think he's only gotten better as an actor. I'll just say that. Like, I really do. I think he's really grown as an actor so well.
Yeah.
Good here, but he gets even better, I think, in subsequent films. Oh, there you go, Kels. There's that full
Oh,
zoom in, chest up and down. So Kelsey likes to see when
yeah.
she's dreaming of being pistachioed at night.
Honestly, zap me. Tie me to a chair and zap me.
Did I talk through Nick's reveal that he was alive?
Could have.
Probably.
I don't know what we
Because
were
he's here.
talking about.
He's here.
Yeah, he's back and he's better than ever.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't look phased at all. He doesn't look like a man who just died. He's very spry.
So I read a fun fact that the
Mm.
reason why no other Avengers come to
Help.
assist this plot, um basically their reason for justifying this fact was that the fact that apparently the events in this film happen within a span of 3 days. So it's a
Oh,
very quick
very quick.
turnaround for the fall of Shield.
Which I kinda like if you're incorporating Falcon into the team, because it's like, who can I rely on right now? Oh, the guy that is always running in the morning with me, you know? Like, I think that's a cool way
Right.
to bring in a character. Because like, why wouldn't you ask Iron Man, you know? But I think this is a really cool and
Yeah.
clever way of being like, "Well, we just gotta get someone, okay, I know this guy," you know?
Yeah. And also, like, Nick Fury told him straight up, like, "You can't trust anyone." So I think the safest bet was going with basically the complete stranger
Because
who probably
If Hydra's turning, who knows? Maybe Tony's with them, maybe Bruce is with them, maybe Stephen Strange, who we haven't met, but they keep name dropping is in on it, you know? Who knows? Maybe Groot's in on it. I am evil Groot. Nah, he doesn't come yet till next week, but very interesting to revisit. That'll be very interesting to revisit next week as well. Really big year, 2014 for Marvel, because I feel like this is like one of those movies that
Mhm.
people keep talking about, probably because also the Russo brothers are introduced. It's basically bringing in Russo brothers and James Gunn in one year. That's like a pretty big shift for Marvel, even though I'm not the biggest Russo brothers fan. Like, it's still a pretty significant thing to happen for the MCU, because
Mhm.
James Gunn, arguably his involvement in the MCU is what now has made him the head of DC. And
Mhm.
the Russo brothers' success in the MCU has made them really terrible outside of it, because they've proven they can't really handle movies on their own outside of it, as we saw from watching Cherry, that abysmal film. But
You're such a hater, Dill. You know I like that movie.
I forgot you like that movie, and I'm
I
wondering if
think
you're
I've
under some sort
watched
of Winter Soldier possession right there. Oh,
it
flashback. Look how little now they really look like babies.
if
That's big
Cherry
baby.
has 1 fan, it's me. If Cherry has 0 fans, I'm dead.
Wow. You will die on that hill, on that cherry hill.
Yeah.
I pulled that one out too. That was good. I'm very proud of that one.
I think we're going a little delirious.
We're going a little delirious. We are a little delirious.
Okay. Now's not the time to be correcting my grammar.
It's fine. Oh, he's just so wise. Sam. He's Sam wise.
Yeah, but he's basically telling him, like, "You gotta let him go." Like, he's a
Yeah.
lost cause. We just need to beat him.
Right, but it's just the way the delivery, he's just so like calming, you know?
Mhm.
It's just so you just I'm not saying what he's saying is right, but it always sounds wise. He's just a wise fella. He just always has
Yeah.
wisdom to impart. Here we
Oh,
go, Sam Lee.
Stan Lee.
That's like a top. We already ranked these, right? But was that in our top tier? That's a great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look back because that is a great cameo. And if we didn't give it like top 3, I'm gonna be shocked. Let's find out, shall we?
What is this
Uh,
shot in the woods? I don't remember that at all. And look, he's back in his original Captain America outfit. Not the OG, but like the little bit nicer
right.
one that I think he gets
Why can I
in
not
this.
find our ranking? Did we did one, right?
Yeah.
We do so many things on this channel. I'm starting to forget what we've done and haven't done. We've definitely done a Stanley ranking video, correct?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna find it.
Remember. You know what's a good reveal, Dill?
What?
Black Widow as the female councilwoman.
Mm-hmm.
That I didn't see coming.
Oh, here we go.
Abed from Community. Abed
Oh
from
yeah, because
Community.
Russo brothers famously community
The Russo
director.
brothers love to cameo the cast of
Found it.
Community.
I found it. Okay, so our final tier list we had. Yeah, this is
Oh,
our.
we
I
did
think this is our number one. Yeah.
makes
Okay. We
sense.
we we knew what was up. We knew what was up. It was our number one.
This is a great moment, Dill. You know what this is reminding me of? That episode that we just covered in X-Men, the animated series, not 97, where Scott goes to that town and he has to like liberate the townspeople
Yeah.
and be like, "Hey, you guys should fight these bad people with me. Like, just we're not going to roll over and take it." And this is the same exact energy. Do you think that Captain America and Cyclops would be friends?
Yes. They fill the same role,
Yeah.
but I think they would be
Or
friends.
do you think there would be some like competitive like air
No, I don't.
to
I don't think.
them?
I don't think Cap is competitive like that. I think he doesn't mesh well with the polar opposites, like the Tonys.
Mm,
Like I don't think he would get along well at all with Wolverine.
mhm.
He'd be like, "Watch your mouth." And he'd be
I
like,
think
"Ooh,
Magneto
watch
and
your mouth."
yeah, Magneto and Tony Stark would be best friends.
Mm,
They give the same energy.
okay, interesting.
I'd love that Falcon line where he's like, "Did you write that down first, or was that off the top of your head?" Because Cap does have some really inspirational speeches.
Yeah, it's kind of like what you've been asking me
That
about jokes today.
okay, fun fact, this guy who's about to get bullied by Brock Rumlow is
Yeah.
Special Agent Cameron Klein, and
Hmm.
he is in this movie, and he's also in Um, the Avengers. He's on the Avengers helicarrier.
He's a good actor here, giving a nice nervous performance, doing some heavy breathing. This is
This
a
was
good
his
one
big
scene. Yeah.
this is his big break, and he ate this moment.
What's his name again? I want to see if he's done anything else.
Special Agent Cameron Klein.
Aaron Himmelstein is his name, or Himmelstein.
Oh, Aaron, show me the money.
Aaron. Let's see. Not a ton. He's in Age of Ultron as well, apparently. Um,
Mm,
he was a voice on
love
10
that.
episodes of The Legend of Korra as Desna. He was on Community as
Ooh.
well as Jeremy Simmons in one episode.
Oh.
Yeah, otherwise not a lot of credits here. He was on a show called Joan of Arcadia. Very underrated actor we got here. So props to you, Aaron. This is the visual
We
effects
love
stuff I
you,
really like.
Aaron.
Just it rising out of the water type
The
deal. Like this
the
looks real. This looks like it actually is practical,
yeah.
and I don't think it is at all.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
Probably not. Oh, sorry. Yeah, a half hour. I never beg for these to be over because I love talking about them and I love watching them, but I'm like, it is a late record for us.
Yeah, it's late night, if you can't tell from my fading facade.
Well, this is just kind of action too. We can just kind of sit back and watch and enjoy.
Right. It's the act 3. It's the action-packed
Yeah.
final act.
These are always our less talky parts of the commentaries because it's just a lot of action. But this action is really good. So I just love, yeah, just shots of him running it. It's just so grounded, quite literally.
Okay, Dill. Fuck, marry, kill Captain America, Falcon, and Black Widow.
I mean, I don't want to kill any of them.
Oh, it's tough.
I mean, you gotta, God. I'm also talking as a heterosexual cis white man, so it's hard
Right.
because I feel like I gotta fuck Black Widow for just kind of she's like that's like the okay, I gotta do that. Now between the other two, who do I marry? Who do I kill? I do think I think Falcon's a little more like entertaining, probably better banter. So I'd probably kill
Mhm.
Steve, marry Falcon, fuck Black Widow. But I don't know. I'd also love to marry Natasha too. But
Right, right.
all right, what would you choose?
I'm such a I'm a little Steve head. I'm a Steve head. I think I have to marry him,
Okay,
and then I think I have to fuck Falcon and kill Natasha, unfortunately.
yeah. I'll
But
give you another one.
it's a very tough call.
Hmm.
It could have easily gone the other way. But
Yeah.
I've seen his arms in some of the shots in this movie as well, and
Oh, what a good
Falcon
reveal!
Falcon's got his own arms.
It's funny because between the woman she was posing as and her, she almost like turns into Allison Hannigan for like 3 seconds. It like looks just
Mm.
like Allison Hannigan. Okay, I'll give
Mhm.
you three. I'll give you three. Um, shoot, I need to find the name of this guy. You know what? I'll roll off the cuff here. All right, Stanley as a security guard,
Okay.
specialist Cameron Klein, and the guy
Awesome.
who helped him out at the Apple Store
Ooh. Apple Store guy, Cameron Klein, Stanley. Okay.
as the security. Stanley as the security guard.
Oh my god, Dill. Okay, I think I have to marry Stanley as the security guard. Fuck Special Agent
He's really
Cameron.
good at making sure the clothes are not on, if you know what I mean. So
Right. Uh,
see?
you got me
Another
there.
great joke that I just came up with. I don't
I
write these.
I'm killing the Apple Store guy,
Oh,
and I'm having a beautiful night with Special Agent Cameron Klein.
he's credited here as specialist. That's I don't know if there's a difference, but specialist,
Oh, so it's
special
not
agent.
Special Agent, it's just
It's just a
Specialist
special. He's just a
Cameron
specialist. He's
Klein?
not even Asian. He's just specialist. Um,
That's fine. He he I'd still do it. The title doesn't change anything for me.
mm. I love all of
Are
her line
you?
deliveries. They're so good. Yeah, they're so good. I like this little design too. It's almost like like a big bubble. You can see
Mhm,
inside from
mhm.
the outside. A lot of great design here. Like I love spy movies, just how they design all the weapons and the tech and the, you know, the
Right.
vessels, the vessels. And again, we're really seeing Falcon's full abilities. Like they really go from 0 to 100 real quick with him, which I love.
Mhm.
Little Red Wing. Is Red Wing in this one or not yet?
I don't know if we see Red Wing in this. I think the first time we see him is in
Age of
Civil
Ultron?
War.
Oh, Civil War. So he's really raw dogging this. He's flying without a parachute. He's woo. Oh, I love this. Ah, the Falcon stuff. I love the Falcon stuff. I feel like he's probably the most underrated at this point. Maybe not now that he's
Mhm.
Captain America, but like was the most underrated. Do you agree? Or are you one of those who underrates him as well? Who's just like, he's okay.
No, I love Falcon, and ever since the TV show, I've never loved him more.
Right.
You know I'm a big fan of that TV show.
I know. Woo. Great Bucky entrance there.
Oh, his little theme music. You know, the
Uh-huh.
music that's playing behind him reminds me a little bit of Dune.
Yes. It's like the women chant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? People love to kick another person in this movie. A lot of, like,
A lot of
big
kicking.
kicks to the chest, and then the person goes
Mhm.
flying.
Yeah.
I forget, Dill, do we watch the post-credit scenes together, or do we just watch the movie?
No, we watch post credits, of course.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we're
I
gonna
couldn't
wanna sit through the
remember.
whole credits. Oh, no, yeah, we play the game where we look for foods.
Oh, really? We just let them play?
I think so. We can skip to the
Okay.
post credits though when we get there if you want, just because of time's sake. I never personally skip the credits, but this one time I will if you want me to.
I'm just I'm just fading a little bit.
Yeah, you still gotta get through a half hour though. You got this. A little less, because with credits it's more like 19 minutes. Not bad. Because
Wow. How did you
Disney
do
Plus
that?
Disney Plus also like just tacks on so much.
Mhm.
Like the credits, I think the credits started like 2:10 or 2:09.
Also, this is a great Nick Fury look. His eye patch, the iconic big, black coat that he's got
Mhm.
on.
Has anyone ever
It's
rebounded from death so well?
no, seriously. Have we seen it before? You tell me.
Did you know something interesting about Samuel L. Jackson is that he, like, has his own personal hairstylist to create him a different hairstyle for every movie? Like, he'll never just do like, until he was Mace Windu in Star Wars, he never went just bald because he's a bald guy, but he would always have, like, a really cool hairpiece. Um, so, like, this was, like, they needed to give him more to, like, kinda distinguish a look because they wanted the bald look like the comics or whatever, but
Mm,
I think what they've done with his look is like facial hair and everything too is really good. Oh, great iconic
mhm.
moment. Takes that off. Keep both eyes open. Love that. Love that. I love how Pierce is just kind of like that. He doesn't really have a good response to that. Thoughts on Maria Hill in this movie, Kels?
I mean, she's there. She's
I feel like
definitely
that's
there.
a lot of her role is just she's there, and it sucks because I wish they always gave her something meatier. But oh,
Right.
That shot always gets me scared because it almost looks like he's in the middle of the explosion.
Mm.
Phew. He's got that Will Smith thing where he real like, when he yells, it's, like, very there's a lot of growl in it.
Mm.
I like that callback. I had a big breakfast because Sam made them breakfast and asked them if they eat breakfast.
Mm. Good catch, Dill. I don't think I noticed that before.
Yeah, it's almost like a nod, like, "Thanks, bud." It's I love that. 'Cause, like, if I made someone, like, a really good breakfast and then we were, like, in the middle of, like, a fight sequence, and they were like, "I had a big breakfast this morning." I'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, you did." You know?
Mhm.
"I made you those bacons and those eggs."
Ugh, Bucky is about to well, he already did it, but he just, like, demolished Sam, and the way he had to land really quickly on his legs could have been a roadie situation.
Yeah. I don't even remember what the post credits is for this. I guess
Um,
we'll find out.
I do.
I guess we'll find out.
There's 2. I don't know what the first one or I know what one of them is, I don't know what the other one is.
Oh, I have an idea of one. Because 'Cause I'm trying to think of what's after this. Guardians, right?
Yes.
Is it a
One of them
Guardians?
all I know is that one of them features the twins.
Oh. Oh, so it's like setting up Ultron. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, this is such a good moment. Do you like this moment, like these moments better, or the stuff in Civil War with them and Tony? I always thought the Tony element added so much too, but I kind of like when it's just, this kind of hand to
They
hand.
both just look, like, so pretty in these shots, and I'm like, I'm not even trying to
I,
be,
lo-
like, gross
I,
and
I
annoying.
love it. No, I just love how I ask a question. You're like, no, just they look pretty.
No, I'm gonna get to your question as well, but this is just a thought I had as this fight scene is going on. It's just like it's just this moment I think is lit really well, and the
Yes,
lighting is making them look
yes.
very pretty.
The lighting is good
Um,
here because you can actually see everything. I will give them that.
well, here's what I'll say, Dill. I think the Tony fight is very cool and entertaining,
Uh-huh.
but I like this one better.
Interesting. I think there's more emotional stakes because of just 3 characters in that one, but I do kinda like the style of that a little
Mhm.
bit better, just like the dark room and the, like, kinda lights coming from Tony's stuff and whatever, but oh, ouch.
Yeah. Oopsie daisy.
I love Samuel Jackson's, like, wide eye. I love how he only has 1 eye, but you could just tell when he widens it just slightly. It's very expressive. Pierce
Damn.
is underrated. Pierce is underrated because I think people like to go for the villains that are, like, powers or they have, like, swords or shit. Like, he's just a dastardly dude. Like,
Yeah.
burn a hole in your stomach, like, in your sternum,
Yeah.
like, what? He's almost more menacing than Bucky is. Bucky's just a weapon for him, Bucky's just a
Mhm.
weapon. He's not his own entity, really.
Yeah, and I think it's because he's so kind of unassuming that it just, like, comes across as, like, more deadly, just how
Yeah.
still and composed and
Mhm.
stoic he is.
Well, and I think that just aids the whole thing about Hydra where it's like these people you think they're just kind of stoic. They're just and there's so much underneath that's dangerous that you didn't see coming.
Mhm.
Like, this is the whole movie's about people you thought you trusted turning on you. Bucky, Hydra.
That was a silly little run that Cap just did where he, like, picked up the card and then, like, trotted
Mhm.
away from Bucky's
Yeah.
unconscious body.
And girly little twinkle toes there, but hey, gotta keep light on his feet. I do like Frank
Interesting.
Grillo, he's great.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he is really, really great.
Was that Cap? That looked like Cap's baseball cap.
It could be. I really can't tell what anyone looks like when they put on a hat.
Yeah,
They're like
when you
a
put on a
totally
baseball
different
cap,
person.
I'm just like, I've never seen a person like that before.
I'm sorry, I'm moving around a lot. I'm just trying not to
At least
fall
your camera's
asleep.
not cutting a million times.
Yeah, if there's one thing about me, it's I'm one raw. I mean, like
Alright,
I'm like the
anyway.
raw.
No, it's okay,
I'm
it's
like the
okay.
raw
You
footage.
don't need to okay, I got you, okay.
One long cut. No cuts
I'm
on this
one
end.
raw pauses.
'Cause I
Wow.
didn't know what I was trying to
I got
say.
you. It's fine, it's fine. This guy's got really blonde hair. Oh, Interstellar.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Marvel very rarely gets political, but when it does, it's very interesting. I think that's another reason people like this too, is it's like, it's taking a bit of like a broader, more universal, like it doesn't feel like it's in a different universe type deal. It still feels
Mhm.
government corruption, it's a very basic thing, but
So they're just like getting rid of people who are like threats to
yeah.
society.
Yeah.
I fear that I wouldn't be one of the targets. I don't think Hydra would be worried about my existence.
No, probably not.
Oh,
Me,
thank
on the
you.
other hand, they wouldn't even be able to see me because I have a baseball cap on. They wouldn't even be able to identify me.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Yeah, I guess the one thing that I also don't love about this movie is that, like, this moment they're making, like, this music swell almost as if it's, like, this big, huge sacrifice moment, but it's also a moment between him and Maria right now, and it's like, I don't know. I just never really bought that
Mhm.
this was, like, it doesn't have that great gravity that, like, Iron Man doing the snap does? I guess with Bucky it does, but I don't know.
Oh, Bucky's trapped. He needs to go save him.
Ugh. They're so good. And there goes Pierce. Down for the count, baby.
Mhm. And it's so sickening and disappointing that he literally uses his last breath to say "Hail Hydra."
Yeah. I mean, it's purposeful, obviously, but
Right.
is it the
It's
first time
just
we
one.
hear Hydra's name spoken or no? Or have we already heard the Hydra name?
No, I think we've already heard it.
Gotcha.
Don't ask me when,
But, like,
but
really
I think we.
emphasizing the whole thing, like, this is gonna be a thing going forward.
Well, Gary Shandling's character leaned in to Jasper Sitwell
Right, and
and
whisper.
whispered in his ear, "Hail Hydra," because that was the big reveal that it was like, "Oh, these high government officials are, like, also part of this, like,
Right.
secret organization."
Right.
Just one last nail in the coffin to let us know just how evil that guy was.
Yeah, very underrated villain. I don't know where he landed on our villain ranking. Probably not too high, but solid enough.
Yeah.
Like, definitely one of the better ones of Phase 2, because if you think about it, it's not Malekith. I don't think it's Aldrich Killian. I don't think it's Ronan the Accuser. It's either
Mm.
him or Ultron probably is the top villain of Phase 2, right? What
But
else am I
we
missing?
love Ultron.
Oh, there's Ant-Man. Yeah, but Yellow Jacket's not. Yeah, it's either Ultron or yeah, Ultron's a great villain. Not a great movie. It's good, but like I think Ultron might be a better villain than Pierce, but Pierce is definitely up there. Like definitely number 2 if not.
Mhm.
And I really like Brock Rumlow. I think he's a really good like supporting villain. I think it's also because
Yeah.
he used to be what, like a stuntman or an athlete or something? Like, let me look up, Frank Grillo. So I think he
I
used
don't
to do
know, but
something that was not acting related.
All I know is that I wish we got more of Crossbones in Civil War
Yeah,
before we had to say goodbye to him.
I agree. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, was he a stuntman?
Oh, this is a good moment where they're going to get Sam and he has to like dive into the helicopter. And he
Mhm.
was like the 44th. And they're like, it's not like there's numbers.
Yeah, he was a wrestler, and then he, like,
Oh,
got into
wrestler
acting. Yeah,
turned actor.
has a brown belt in jujitsu. Um,
Oh.
yeah, and then he started, like, acting in commercials and stuff. Like, yeah, he's really great. He's, like, yeah, trained in, like, MMA style stuff, which is really
Mm,
cool. I
very
like Frank
cool.
Grillo a lot. He's great. Have you seen the movie Warrior with, Joel Edgerton and Tom Hardy?
Mm,
Oh, he's so good in that too. That's such a good movie. Oh my god, you would love that movie, I think. It's kinda like
okay.
this. It's like
I'll
people
put it on the
fighting
list.
over huge stakes, you know?
Mhm.
Mm. It was a great confrontation. Again, very Anakin Obi-Wan. If you know, you know. Kelsey does not.
I know.
Do you?
I don't know. No. No, I don't know.
You were the
I can't.
chosen one. Kiss. Have you ever shipped these 2, or are they just friends?
No, I think they're definitely lovers as well.
Okay, so when do you think do you think they fuck in the war or after this? Like, after he kinda goes good?
I think it was during the war and then after when Bucky comes back to normal.
So
'Cause I'm with
after the
you to
Super
the end of
Soldier
the
Serum.
line.
Oh, I love that moment of realization there.
Oh god, look at his face. It's already blown up like a balloon.
Yeah, big baby. And there he goes. He's falling. Another CG shot I don't love, but again, 10 years
Mm,
ago, not terrible, not terrible. I thought he lands in the
the
water.
drama, the spice.
Even the land of the water, like the sound was so good there. It was like a
Oof.
little poof, you know.
Yeah.
It's almost like you heard the water, but you heard it as if you were underwater. I love that. Just so good.
Mhm. And then he saves him.
Yeah. Again, oh wait, oh, have you seen Paddington 2 yet, or you're still only on the first one?
No, I've not watched Paddington 2 yet,
All right, I'm not gonna
unfortunately.
spoil Paddington 2, but this moment reminds me a lot of Paddington 2,
Okay, good to
which
know.
you could probably infer. It's dark.
Oh, great. Something to look forward to.
Yeah, these final moments between them are very, very good. I kinda after the Hydra turn, this whole movie's kind of a blur to me, just from recollection, so I'm glad we're rewatching this 'cause I really forget what happens now. Like, what happens now? Well, I guess we'll find out right now. It's the beauty of a commentary is we get to see exactly what happens when it happens next. Oh,
Well,
that's
don't
right.
we just cut to him in the hospital?
Yeah, is that it? Who's in the hospital? Cap?
Cap's in the hospital, Sam's sitting by his bedside,
There he
playing
is.
Trouble Man
Mm,
by, Marvin Gaye.
yes. Great album.
Oh god. Oh my god, does Cap say on your left? I think he does.
Yep, there he is. I love the full circle nature of that, just like you know,
Mhm.
beginning 10, and then here they are on the shooting range. This is Natasha, right? Or no, this is again,
No, this is
random girl who, if they had just told us who she is, it would have I made this moment so much better.
right,
She's really a
'cause
non-entity.
she joins the CIA. That's
She's
what she
very
does
irrelevant in this
post.
movie. They try to make her thing, but she's not. I think if they had given us that connection, it would have been so much stronger. Oh, and there's Gary Shandling
Oh,
again.
she's taking up a job at Stark Industries?
And then there comes who's this on the stretcher?
Brock Rumlow.
Oh, right.
because
Oh, and
they
it's literally
find
getting
him
maybe
and they
impossible.
rehabilitate him, and that's how he becomes
Yeah,
Crossbones.
all this is a blur. I really forget this part of the movie. I guess I haven't seen this in a while. Probably not since I watched Infinity Wars. Probably not since 2018 when you watch it for the first time. It's probably
Mhm.
been that long because I watched all the movies going into Infinity War and I haven't done a full
Mhm.
binge since. So this is like my first time. I've watched Guardians since, obviously, but this is one of my first times rewatching this since 2018, which is crazy. And by then I had seen it 2 or 3 times. This is probably my fourth watch of this or fifth.
This is a good I really believe that he's, like, chief of security or something.
Like the actor is believable.
Yeah.
hmm Maybe he is. Maybe he's like a real chief of security that they had just come in for the day. Imagine that. That's like in Captain Phillips. Have you seen that one with Tom Hanks? At the end, there's an actual doctor who like performs a trauma assessment
Mm.
on Tom Hanks's character. So Tom Hanks is acting with a real professional, and it's just so cool. It's one of the greatest, in my opinion,
Wait,
acting moments ever.
wh in what is this you're talking
Captain
about?
Captain Phillips, the movie from 2013. So remember
Oh.
his boat gets hijacked by Somalian pirates, and at the end he goes through like a whole trauma test. And he's like shaking and like has all this trauma, and like there's an actual nurse that they hired to like have perform the trauma test on him, which is so cool. She's like, I need you to stay calm. I need you
Mhm.
like all that stuff is so good. Nick Fury's so badass in this. I don't think we ever saw a good Nick Fury after this, except for Captain Marvel, which again is before this. So like timeline wise, after
Right.
this, I think he's literally what he's burning is like his character in the MCU.
Yeah.
It's a symbol.
Well, because he really just, like, hides up in space after this and is, like
Yeah.
like, Talos is pretending to be him for like,
Right.
basically the rest of the movies.
Right, because the next time we see him is when? So we see him in Age of Ultron, right? Briefly.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but like not a big enough part, and then he's not an Ant-Man. I guess the next time we would see him is Infinity War, post credits, he gets blipped, and then he comes back for
Mm.
Endgame barely, and that comes and stands there at the end. Like really a non-entity for a lot of the rest of the MCU. Spider-Man Far From Home, I guess, is the most he does after this, but even then, he's again, like you said, Talos
Mhm.
until Secret Invasion, which again we don't like. So not a fan of this hair either. This is a slightly different look, right? Or is this the same one she's had?
No, this is definitely the same.
Hmm. Looks slightly less neat.
In Kiev.
Sharon. Again, just trying to force shit. That's just not. I don't know. Oh, the kiss on the cheek. What? Why do they do that?
Because
Because
they're
they never.
playing with our hearts.
I know it feels like an audience thing though. It doesn't feel natural in the characters for her to kiss him at the end of this. Because as you said, it's just 3 days. Like this is just a little mission.
Yeah, but they've been through so much. They saved the world in 3 days.
Yeah. When do we start? Oh, that's a good final line. And there we go. Directed by Anthony and Joe Russo. I forgot Anthony came first in that. There it is. Winter
Mm.
Soldier. We'll let this play until the first post credits. And then we can skip to the last one after that because these are cool designs. But overall, Kels, your assessment. What do you think? Having rewatched it, still a fan? Is it still your
Yeah.
number one?
I don't know. Honestly, Dale, I was gonna pitch to you doing, like, a full MCU ranking because I don't know if we've done that yet, or if we
Mhm.
have, like, it needs to be updated,
Right.
with everything that's come out recently. Like I said, definitely at least top 5, but, I don't know, it's tough to say. My number 1 kind of fluctuates depending on what mood I'm in, but this
Yeah.
one definitely is still strong to this day, it still holds up.
And
It's a really
next
good
week is
film.
when we're gonna be covering the one you kind of also teeter between, which is Guardians of the Galaxy. So a big year for Kelsey and
Right.
Marvel because these are normally
Mhm.
if asked, usually 2 of the options she gives for her number 1. Um, but did you say it was better, worse, same?
No, I think it's probably exactly the same.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's just something about it that I think it's because everyone else says, like, "This is the best MCU movie." I just don't see that hype. Like, I'm just not quite on that level.
Mhm.
I think it's good, but, like, again, like, there's like, Emily Van Camp's character I always have an issue with, and I don't really love the cutting, as I said, and I don't you know, I don't think it's the best directed or shot, but the action sequences are really good, and that's why I'm frustrated by the cutting of it, but there are some really, really inventive things in this film that they do really well, like the elevator stuff
Mhm.
you were talking about, the sound, as we realized, is really great, and just the overall, like, emotional stakes of the Bucky Cap stuff is really good, Alexander Pierce being a great villain, Nick Fury being the best he's been, like, I do agree, I think it's really solid, but it's not still in my top tier, but here we go. This is the twins. Strucker.
Yes, Baron Strucker, the guy who has Loki's scepter somehow.
Oh, yeah, they're in the thing. Quicksilver's just running around. And as we know just by watching the X-Men, like, this is probably a big deal because, like, back then, like, these were X-Men, they weren't in the MCU, and now there it
Mhm.
is.
Oh,
Oh, I
right.
love that. Oh, love that
The
shot of Wanda.
twins.
So good. Yeah, Quicksilver's literally this one of the main awesome parts of the movie that came out this year, Days of Future Past, which
Mhm.
was 2014. Crazy. Which I will
Mhm.
also be rewatching on my retrospective. So if you want to check out the Dill Pickle, sorry, not Dill Pickle, Dylan Randazzo at Letterbox. I'm going to be watching movies from 2014. X-Men, Days of Future Past will be one of them. This is also another one. Should we skip to the post credits here quickly, Kels?
Sure.
All right, let's skip ahead. So if you're watching the credits, I do implore you to watch them and give credit to who credits due. But let's skip forward. We are now at the museum. And sure enough, who is there? Another man in a cap who looks like no one else. The good news is that
Oh,
the
right.
public doesn't know who this is, but it is Bucky looking at himself. And that's where he learns.
Yes,
Holy shit.
because
And now he's finally got some facial
the
hair and he doesn't look like a fucking baby.
yeah, it's
And
starting
that's
to
it.
unravel
There you,
for him. He's starting to put some things together.
there you go. So that is Captain America the Winter Soldier. Thank you for bearing with us, even on a tired night where we're both kind of a little sleepy, but this is the best time we could fit it in. Next week, we will be doing Guardians of the Galaxy, so we're looking forward to doing a commentary on that. Any last thoughts, Kels, before we wrap it up for tonight?
Um, Nothing. Just hope you enjoyed. And if you want, you can check out my socials. Um,
Yes.
and other than that,
I was gonna say,
good
Kelsey's got
night,
to go to bed.
everyone.
I'm even fine, Kelsey, if you log off while I'm playing the outro. But thank you guys. See you next week for Guardians of the Galaxy, where we'll talk more just about the MCU in 2014 and all the great stuff that that popped in my brain at the very last minute of wanting to ask Kelsey questions. I'm just like, I'll save them for Guardians. So next week, Guardians, and then we'll tell you what's happening for the rest of the month. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.